I wore a pant liner today and got home to see that it had disappeared. Where has it gone to? Did it fall on the road through my trousers when I was buying food? Or did it fall off when I was in Ebano? God help me, please. I hope my reputation has not been tarnished. God, I wasn't wearing underwear because it was so hot. So I taped the pant liner to my trousers.
Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, all.
Okay, today we have a guest. Why don't you introduce yourself for the people?
Thanks for having me, firstly.
Well, welcome.
I am Banke, the creative director and founder of fashion brand Banke Kuku. And yeah, it's good to be here, guys.
Yes,
Lovely. We are in Banke Kuku Garms today.
Weird.
Serious
Serious
weirds. Serious weirds.
Banke, how's your weekend? What did you get up
It
to?
was good. I actually rested a lot. On Saturday, I feel like I went to a birthday party at the J.K. Randall Museum.
No way.
Wow.
People are bougie.
I know.
Oh, yeah, that's a lovely little venue.
I know. We had like a private viewing of the museum and cocktails. And then,
Do you know, I love wealthy things.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. That's really bougie, but that's also very cool.
Yeah.
yeah, it was actually really cool. It was really cool. It was nice. And then Sunday I just relaxed.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
What did you guys get up
I'm
to?
trying to think of how I get in that.
Into that kind of thing, right? That sounds really
The problem
cool,
is my
actually.
crowd is rough.
No, we'll enjoy it.
Yeah, no.
It's just organizing that seems like a trek.
Yeah.
It would have been hard to organize it, and but it was worth it. It was interesting.
It'll be really nice because that place is
It's beautiful.
It's really stunning.
It's really beautiful.
really
It's curated
stunning.
very
It
nicely.
is.
To see it at night is nice, and then they had a dinner in the museum too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm getting you. I went for a 50th in London at the National History Museum. National History Museum?
That's nice.
No. V&E. At the V&E.
Yeah.
Really?
And
That's a
it
good
was, but it's one of those people that have family crests.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of those English people that like their blazer. I remember just being in school in Seven Oaks and everybody's wearing Polo Ralph Lauren for any formal events. And I saw this guy, he had one crest. I said, "Oh, what brand is that?" I said, "No, it's my family crest. It's for the estate." I said, "Oh." I said, "They have a house up in Cambridgeshire." I said, "Do you now?"
They always have a house in a shire.
I said,
somewhere.
"I have a house in Koi."
And Abiyokuta.
Do you guess? In the countryside,
in the
actually. I also
countryside.
have it. So yeah, so his mom did her 50th at the V&A and it
That's
was
really nice.
crazy. I just thought,
But there are a lot of Nigerian weddings.
they love Nigerian
in
birthday
places-
parties
in places like
in
that.
English museums.
I've been to a wedding
They love
at
that.
the National History Museum.
Yeah. I've also been to a birthday party at Natural History Museum.
it's really
But
nice.
Nigerians love things like that.
Yeah.
They're just
100%.
like, I've also been to a birthday party at Saatchi Gallery,
Yeah.
which was also really nice.
They like those.
They
They
really
like
love
they love
anything
those.
flenjo.
Yeah.
That's also who came up with the word flenjo. I've been really enjoying it recently.
Really?
Like I sent my friend money the other day and the narration was flenjo. And we both laughed for like 20 minutes because where is that word
I don't
from?
even
What's the
know.
origin?
I have no clue. I don't
Please,
even know.
if anybody knows where flenjo
Yeah, and our
as
audience
a
will surely
word.
know.
No, they will know. I know someone will know why. Because it feels like they joined flex and enjoyment. But the end
That might be it.
the R is
Yeah.
from where?
Okay.
It's just extra now.
Yeah.
The R sounds Yoruba.
It very much. I feel like a Yoruba person was saying it.
Yeah.
And
This
yeah.
is how I found out that shimi is actually shimi, as in the French undergarment.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that.
I knew that.
I knew that.
I knew that.
I knew
Yoruba
that.
people are a menace to society. I can't lie to you.
There are actually many words that they've scattered
Yeah.
that it just becomes, I heard about the shimi one.
Yeah, I knew about this.
Yeah.
And Pekin is from the Portuguese word for child, which
Yeah.
is like pick. I think Jamaicans turn it to picnic.
Yeah, and then we have
Nigerian, West
yeah.
Africans turn it to Pekin. Very interesting.
So please, if you know the origins of flenjo, do educate us in the comment section. And what did you do this weekend?
Nothing. On Saturday, I had a heart-to-heart with my mother. I didn't achieve anything, actually, on Saturday. I don't think I went anywhere. Had a heart-to-heart with my mom. And I was just telling her some stuff. This is the problem with telling parents who care about you things. So me, I had said what I wanted to say and I had gone. So on Sunday, after our event, when I got home, my mom came back. And she came to pray for me. She was like, "I'm so worried." She's like, "I don't want you to be unhappy. Your mental health." I said, "Mommy, I was just being honest about how I feel from time to time. It's not a permanent state. And I could see it in her face that she was genuinely like worried. But that's the only thing I achieved. My mom came to ask me a question and I told her the truth, unfortunately. And then on Sunday we had a really nice event.
Okay.
Yeah, I find that like sometimes So I went to my mom's house to eat because I was just like, well, I'm bored of food. Like I called and I was like, what are you guys having for dinner? I was like, oh, that sounds fun. Coming, and she was kind of like, yeah, we didn't invite you. So that was you people's business, frankly. So I went and I had dinner and she was just like, oh, how's work? I was like, listen, let's not. Like, I'm fine. So the other day she just messaged that, oh, before you say I'm gaslighting you or something. That was the beginning of the message. I said,
no, since your mom learned that word. Fakemi's mom learned gaslighting last year. And
genuinely, then, any small thing, I don't want to gaslight you. And I'm just like, you can't actually say it every time. She was just like, but I noticed that, maybe you don't want to speak. And I was like, first of all, there's nothing about gaslighting in what you're saying. So she was like, oh, we should go to lunch on Sunday. But obviously we had our events. But when I went home, they had bought me takeaway. So I messaged her that I know that this is your... Let me not disturb you, but here's food, for the pain. And I was like, there's actually no big problem. Don't worry. I just didn't want to get into it at the time. So they're like, it's funny. They're like worried, but they're just like, I know that once I start saying too many things now, you start saying that I should back up.
And I know she told my dad, because my dad does this thing where he doesn't really know what to do. So so I feel like what happens is my mom will go and tell him that, oh, I think something is wrong with Jola or whatever. And then just come and say, just checking in on you.
That's so
I'm
sweet.
like, Daddy.
That's so sweet.
Just checking in. Everything is okay? No? Yes? Just checking in. I'm like, Daddy, I'm fine.
I have a really good relationship with my dad. So we talk all the time about anything and everything. Advice about anything and everything.
Really?
Yeah, he's a
really?
great... Yeah, because also my dad is in his 80s, so he's lived a good life and he would advise you honestly, and sometimes we'll have conversations like, okay, Banke, I'm going to say this to you, but see me as your daddy friend. I know we have an amazing
That's
relationship.
Always nice.
Yeah.
I love that. I find that as I get older, everyone is just a bit more honest. Like, especially my grandma. I come out, I was saying the other day, and she was like, honestly, your friends are always deceiving yourself. I don't even know what I was talking about. Me and my auntie just stopped that. Ma. She was just like, yeah, I just find that you young people, you deceive yourself a lot. And I was like, what?
No, but
she was just like, yeah, like a lot of you are not in reality.
That's what
and
she meant.
She was
it.
just like, I don't shame me because what are you saying? She was just like, okay, what are you actually talking about? And obviously it was at my marriage and I kept saying all this and that. She was just like,
oh my gosh. Do you know? Okay, I can share this one because I love the podcast. This is what I can't wait for us to have a paywall because there's some crazy things you can't say. Do you know? I told my mom something I wanted to do. So man, normally my parents feed my delusion. So they're like, you can't do anything. You can't do anything. Yesterday, my mom was just like, let's be factual. That one is at least 45. She's like, at the very least, you'll be 45 before you can do that. It's like, Mommy, she said, I just have to be frank with you because nobody else will tell you the truth. I said, get out. Get out.
No, it's really quite crazy. At the moment, I feel like they're just like, I really pity you people because your mind is so lofty.
My dad is constantly like, I don't understand your generation.
Yeah.
You guys are so strange. Like, you're strange. And what he doesn't understand, he's like, back in my day, a pretty girl can never be single.
That's the problem. They think it's about that. They're always saying, you went to school. Exactly. My grandma said, you even have masters.
Yeah.
I said, I promise you the streets are not into
It's not about
it's
that.
not about that.
No, but I've told you, my dad hates social media.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't like it at all. At all.
Yeah,
and my dad is convinced, like, he always says that part of it is social media. Because he said you see some gargoyles. See some gargoyles. Before, if a girl with complete teeth should smile at them, they'll be so grateful. Now, they'll be saying, she's not 8 over 10, she's 4. She's not 8, she's 5. And it makes me laugh. So, like, my dad thinks social media is literally how the world is going to end. Like, he said that he would get on there and he'll just see strange things. That he see people, they'll go for somebody else's wedding, they'll be there. Taking pictures of themselves, they say wedding things. Then another one.
But if you think
cannot
about
stand-
it,
he cannot stand
social media must be really strange to them.
For sure.
Like,
My mom loves it, but my dad just doesn't
understand it.
what is. He's such a
My
serious
actual
person.
problem is my mom is now super active on social media, and my problem is she's the sending of things to me.
Yeah.
So like someone will get engaged and she's like, yeah, I saw it. What? She won't say anything. What's your point? Or all these pages, praying woman,
Yes.
boss girl, should not be forwarding
my
me
mom
their
followed-
quotes, and I'm just like, excuse me.
You guys, let me tell you how I know my mom has gone deep into the rabbit hole. My mom works from home on Thursdays. But she's really serious. So like she's actually working, but she takes breaks. So I went upstairs. I can't remember what I went to do. And I just said, let me check what this woman is doing. And I heard her giggling away. You guys, my mother was watching Pop the Balloon. I said, Mommy, how'd you get it? She said, no. There's some very nice ones. I said, Mommy, you have multiple degrees. You should not be here. You should not be here. She was like, some of them are very nice. Very, very nice. That you can learn lessons. That's what she always, when my mom wants to justify something, she said you can learn lessons
it's
from
really
it.
odd. And then people have shown her how to use emojis. So we watched Adolescence. Like we watched it together, me, my mom, and not her husband. We watched it. And then the bit about the emojis meaning, there's a bit in the show. Have you seen it? Where the guy is describing that, these heart emojis mean different things and different emojis. Do you know that after the episode, they actually paused and they were like, okay, please explain to me all the emojis. Like, not the one I think, the real meaning. And I was like, you guys, you're actually not the target audience. So he now said, okay, so if by mistake I send a blue heart, what does that mean? If I send this other emoji, and I was like, oh my gosh, we actually can't.
He has probably gone to make notes.
They looked it up.
Yes, of course.
They looked it up. And so my mom was now using like a variety of emojis. And I'm just like, sis, what is...
My mom's own is stickers. My mom will use her picture.
Oh, yes.
And add God bless you under. I'm like, Kemi, what is happening here? So my mom, if you can tell my mommy thank you for something, she'll send you her picture as a sticker with God bless you.
No, and then the other day, I reposted something that I think the person tweeted, like, if you are praying for me, please try fasting. So me, I now reposted and said, try fasting. My mommy now laughed. I said, it's you. I'm talking about. She responded laughing. I said, sis, it's you. Yeah, the one it's you. Why are you laughing? What's funny? And she was just like, oh, okay. I said, girl, what? So yeah, look, I don't know. The whole thing, I'm just not sure. But in a way, I agree with them, Sha. And I always tell them, I see, if you want me to marry, it's not actually difficult. It's just like you will not be happy with the quality. But if you want me to put out a call to say, hi, I would like to get married next Thursday. Who is ready?
Yeah.
The people that come to the foreground is you that will not be happy with them. So I think we all have to be quite frank. But yeah, we had an event this Sunday. We had a brunch.
Yeah, we had a brunch with Garnier.
Yeah, we had a brunch with Garnier.
It was really nice.
It was a glow down beauty / skincare brunch. It was fun. I quite enjoyed it. We had it at the house. It was quite cute. So it was quite a cute.
About 50 people from our community came, and then we played games. They got some samples and they learned about the product. And it was just fun. I think one of the things I really enjoy when we have events in general is watching people slowly warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're excited. This was a paid event, so they had paid to come. So they are up for a good time. But it just takes a little bit for them to warm up. And then they start having fun. And then we force them to do icebreakers that force them to talk to each other.
And then you kind of leave people. Because when they came, everyone was spread out on different tables and they were on their phones. So we're like, first of all, you all need to sit together. Nobody knows anybody. I don't even know who you know or who you don't know. But come and sit together and try and interact. And then after that, people just get into the spirit of things. But it's really interesting. And it was a lot of fun. The food was good. Garnier is launching in Nigeria.
Yeah.
With a vitamin C range that has the micellar water and some other products.
And,
it
was good. It was really good. I had a good time. And I think they did as well. Yeah. We did what we do. If you missed the event, so sorry for you.
So sorry. And I really like small events.
I'm not going to lie.
Sorry, no, I don't want anybody to bite my head up because obviously a lot of you can't comment. There was a lot of hateration going on in the comments, but I really enjoy these 50 people. And it's really cute. Simi Marino, our friend from Ghana, her whole family came, which I thought was interesting.
Even her dad popped in for a little bit.
I really enjoyed that.
But it was nice. It was just really nice to see them having fun.
That's nice.
And having a good time.
Yeah.
I enjoy stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anything fun, having a good time. I will, however, say Never again are we doing an outdoor
Oh,
event.
you guys,
Oh.
the heat.
The heat.
said,
Lagos is really
God.
hot at the
It's
moment.
not cute. So, like, there's like a misty glow. So, no.
No, I was sweating.
We were sweating.
You know when you have to like carry a fan up and down?
Yeah.
And like if the fan stops, in that 2 minutes,
baking.
you are having an existential issue.
Yeah.
It was really, really crazy. Like
This is neither here nor there, but that's why I don't like those Perspex shoes in Lagos.
yeah, they make you really hot
Because
Yeah.
your
The
feet are
rubber
baking.
stuff. Yeah.
So there's steam. You can actually see people's legs frying.
There's also fabrics that like just they're
Absorb-
baking you
absorbing
inside,
you.
so it doesn't make sense. But it was a very cute event. You guys should go and check out Garnier products at Beauty Hut. Shubu from Beauty Hut was also there, which was fun.
It was just nice. It was a really,
It was
really
a
nice
cute
time.
one. It was a cute one. So community people,
They
look
get the
forward
goods.
to-
They enjoy
you get
it.
the goods.
Anyway,
Look
Banke,
forward
before
to
we
more.
get into gisting, we told you already. So you guys, we went to Banke store.
We did. We had a
You
great
should
time.
have seen the vlog of it by now. I
Have you?
think. No, by the time this comes out.
Okay,
they
sure,
should have.
sure,
They
sure,
should
sure.
have.
We had a grand,
We had a really
grand
fun
old
time.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, we did. It was very cute. Your store is very beautiful.
It is. It's
And
very
it's like
cute.
it makes you feel classy.
Yeah, it makes you feel like a big bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you,
It's a
thank
very
you,
nice
thank
store. It was
you.
very
I'm glad you had a
pretty.
good time.
And
We actually
the
had a
staff-
really good time.
The staff were
Yeah.
really nice too.
I
Thank you.
enjoyed it.
Yeah. There's some stores that my mom says this about like when she first went to New York on Saks. Like she actually had a pretty girl moment in Saks. Like she walked into a store and one of the attendants actually went, And she was like, what? I beg your pardon, but it's always nice because to be fair, Lagos can be really stressful and hot and annoying. So and sometimes you might be the 70th person to walk
Person
into the
yes,
store
yeah.
that day. So it's very hard sometimes to keep your spirits up or whatever.
yeah.
But it's always nice when you have a pleasant experience.
And I think also in stores, the staff has realized that whining you is part of the process. Like, I mean, customers whining you. Because a lot of people just go, they're not buying anything. That's a fact.
Yeah.
They've tried, it's part of the game. You two, you have to whine me when I get there as if I'm going to buy plenty things. It's all part, and I don't think I think Americans have it a bit too much.
Yeah.
Because every 2 minutes, I'm like, sis, they asked if you can help me last 2 minutes that you asked me. I'm still here.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to greet me at every.
Yeah.
The English people, they hate you.
Yeah.
And
they
like
don't
Zara in
give a damn.
particular, they even
Can't
the
stand
way
you.
they look at you when you're like, can I help you? And they're like, is it because I work here that you're talking to me? But yeah, I don't know. But in your store, it was really fun.
Thank you.
I mean, got to try on the clothes we're wearing now.
Yeah, but
which
then and
is
then also
lovely.
like good service is so rare. Because I remember, and the first time I realized this was when I was much younger. So do you guys remember New Yorker?
yes.
So my dad really liked it.
Yeah.
But there was because of a particular waiter, it was my dad's go-to place because the guy was just very, very pleasant to the extreme. Like he wasn't just us. There were a few people so people would come and he would have like 7 tables because nobody would agree to be served by anybody else. Because he was just that pleasant. You guys, I shoot you notes. There was a day we went and they were like, oh, he has left. My dad actually just carried. He said, okay, we're going somewhere else. I'm not joking.
That's so funny.
He just carried his wallet. I was like, Daddy, the pizza. The pizza. He said it won't be good. He's not around. And I think from time to time, and you find that actually like salons have it a lot.
Oh, salons have it a lot.
Where you also follow
Oh my gosh.
people.
There'll be
when
one
you
staff.
leave.
Because you get used to someone's hands. Yes.
I remember there was one girl, she left one place and I was like, when I got there, she wasn't there. I asked them to give me her personal number. I said, please, where do you work now? And that was it. That was all. And when I went there, I was like, I don't even want to see anybody else. I'll wait for her. Don't worry.
My friend Ejiro used to own a salon called Jody's Curl Boxes, like a natural hair salon. And she had one, I think her name was Candy. And they used to laugh because I would just literally pop my head. I'll say, is Candy around? By the time they said, once I don't wait for them to finish saying no. I'm just out. Like if she's not there, nobody's touching my hair. And I think there's something about realizing that cultivating like rapport
Yes.
with
It's very
customers
important.
is important. It's
It is.
hard.
What's the name of that? I have a title. So what's that guy's name? There's one really tall guy that honestly when I go
Bamidele.
when I go there and I don't see Bamidele, I'm just like, I'm so sorry. This can't work. Because he accepts all our rubbish.
He also smiles at you like you are the most important person this whole year he has seen. Every time he sees you, he's smiling. He's like, how are you? We don't have this your drink, oh. but I think you should try this one. Just small things that
that's-
just
yes.
make you
And I
feel.
love people
Yes.
that remember,
Yes, remember
that
that's
like,
what you like.
oh
Yeah.
you know, I really enjoy things
Yes,
like that. Like when you
exactly.
remember that this is what I have.
That's really paying attention.
And you even tell me that, oh, it's not here. And I'm very down with it. So I really enjoy it.
It's good.
But
It's,
great service.
It's hard,
Thank
but it's
you.
good. Good service is important, especially because of, particularly with repeat customers.
Yeah.
So small things like recognizing that somebody comes. If you have someone that comes constantly in a rush,
Yeah.
when they come, you just be like, this is what we can. By the time you already say, this is what we can do in the next couple of days.
Yes.
It makes them feel, you know that what they are doing is aggravating and annoying, but they're already a paying customer and they've done this thing multiple times.
So you know.
Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
it's learning over time, but people are annoying, so I get it.
No,
But
but
it's-
at the end of the day, they're making the business.
That's it.
You know, everybody, whether you're buying a scarf or a full outfit, every customer is valuable.
Yeah.
You know, I know my girls are great. They work really hard.
Yeah, they were really cool.
This is why I always say that. I don't know that. I mean, it's funny because I'm about to go into a customer-facing business, but I often say that I don't know if I can be because my temperament is very somehow.
By the time you start making money, you realize you can't
Very
be.
somehow.
You need.
I'm in a
them.
business. Like today now, someone came to pick up some plastic products and I said, they should go. Yeah, I said, you know what, thanks so much. And everybody was like, I said, look, it's going to take like 2 hours to pacify this man's rubbish. Tell him I said you should go, you should not worry. You're not the first, you'll not be the last. And I realized that I should probably not be doing customer service.
Yeah, no,
My staff were just like, I
you have
think
to be
maybe
very.
next time you should not be the one.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah,
Actually, you shouldn't.
yeah.
I think you pop in and you have people handling it, and just make sure your people are treating everyone well.
Yeah.
Sometimes because you have, as a business owner, you have so much on your mind. Just maybe that day you have a lot going on, so you may be a little bit short. But yeah.
Fair enough. We'll do some dilemmas. I wanted to ask you a question now, but I'm like, let me just
Ask her
save
first.
everything. I wanted to ask that, obviously you tell us how you started, but and let me not lie, before, because I know people will listen to this and I'm very guilty of messaging the owner. A lot of times, do you still have that where
Yes.
people are just like, so
Yes,
sorry, I
yes.
know you have a shop, or I know you have a store, I know that, I can shop online, but I just want to message you personally to buy the thing. Or even saying to
throughout
your
the
staff,
night, yeah.
actually, I know Banke, so like, don't worry.
Oh, yes. I get it all the time. People can message me at 2 a.m. in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning. And I'll respond,
Yeah.
but you have to, thank you, appreciate
Do you
it.
answer them still?
course.
That's so, wow. Even
And if
some
I-
of my friends are like, I'm so sorry.
No, you have to. Even if I say, okay, I will handle this for you, but let me pass you on to my head of sales who will really look after you. But if you have any issues, get back to me. But I will also follow up and make sure your process is going well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I always feel, these days, I've started to feel shy. Before, any small thing like this, I said, don't worry. I message you, God, don't worry yourself. But I imagine that the bigger you grow, the more people you know. So if everybody is messaging you personally, then
I have to say, I forget sometimes, especially when I see the messages at 2 a.m. in the morning. And I'm like, in the morning, I'll deal with it. By
yeah,
the time you wake up and you
there's
have
other things.
Yes, and then the messages go down. You're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to message this person. And, and because also there's so many different things going through your mind. So someone has messaged you asking for something. You say, yes, sure. I'll sort it out. And then as soon as you close that chat, and you've forgotten. So I have to always make sure, like, don't forget, try not to forget. So I write things down a lot and pass things on pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's really funny. Don't worry, I won't do that. So
Or messaging
Yeah.
randomly.
I'm trying to learn, but honestly, a lot of times I'm just like, okay, it's been 20 minutes.
The person I do it the most to is Shaliwa, for star's sake.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, wow.
Every 2 business
I'm
days.
sure she wishes she could block me. And she always tries to send me off to Sarah. I said, but I'm talking to you.
Let me tell you what's even funny. I actually messaged Sarah to say, please tell Shaliwa that I'm the one. And it's because every time I message them, what I need it in 2 business days. So I'm like, I'm so sorry to do this for the 7th time. Would you mind, please let her know that I'm the one, that I'm on my knees. So it's kind of funny, but in the end, people do answer you. I have some people that have told me that I should get out, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, no, but they're my friends.
Okay,
that if
yeah,
I'm
fair
too
enough.
big to order from the general, then I'm not. I don't need it.
I mean, it's a lot of pressure. It is a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I just imagine that it's just a lot of inflow. Whereas you're trying to manage the business, and then people are like ordering a top from you, and you're just thinking, I don't like. Is your internet not working? Or can't you?
Sometimes people just want to also just get your opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and get your advice, which prints, which this, and
Fair enough, Sha. I also have, shout out to my aunties who listen to this, who will send me like the picture. Like maybe they'll see your outfit and then send me the picture and just say, oh, this is what I want. And I'm thinking, do you not have access to Banke Kuku? And they do it all the time. And I'm always just like, is it rude to say, so sorry? But like, are you not aware of the websites? I'm just like, auntie, what's happening now? But it's okay.
Yeah.
Jola, have you found?
Not yet. I mean, somebody just sent us big hits from Abuja for not doing any events in Abuja since 2021.
Yeah, the Abuja people are really
They are
upset.
big madam and Ghanaians. They're so upset.
They're actually really
at
upset.
us.
And I'm so sorry. It will happen. It will happen soon. It's just, it happened. And what's funny is we really enjoyed the Abuja event.
That was our favorite one
at
when
the
we
time.
did it. Yeah.
It's just that it's long and it's very hot there at the moment.
yeah.
It's very, very, very
Really
hot.
hot.
Not just hot, it's expensive. I think so. People don't realize that things take us longer because we constantly think of people's pockets.
Yeah.
So we try to make sure that whatever we're doing, we're able to work in a way that makes sense. So we could have done multiple things in lots of places. It would just end up being a very tiny event, people that can pay a
Yeah.
ridiculous amount of money. But we don't like things like that. So things just take so much longer. People are like, oh my God, you should come to, then I mention one obscure place. And we're like, they're like 40
It's like every
of you
time
that
someone
listen.
says, we'll come to Port Harcourt, I'm like, we'll do it
Wow.
in your parlor. Because the 20 of you that want to be there. Boys and girls, please, we've come here today with a request. We've come to beg you. We are on our knees.
Yeah.
Don't forget that we're sitting down. Just imagine it with your mind. Please, they say, you people, you always ask us for many things. Like now, Beyonce won a Grammy. They said, oh, have her on the podcast. Okay, no, good and fine. But how do we want to have her when you don't want to subscribe? You don't want to share the podcast? You don't want to download? What are the other things they do again?
Everything.
Follow, what again? Comment and what again?
Everything.
All the things.
Just do what you're supposed to do.
Do the things and then we'll have Beyonce. Very simple.
Yeah.
Okay?
I even made a song. Do you want to hear my song?
That's not the video we're doing right
It's
now.
now.
Okay, go ahead.
It matters.
See.
Because I need to clear my throat. Let me make sure that is in order.
You don't remember the song?
No, I want to make sure it's in order.
Of what?
Like, share, subscribe, and comment if you're not a bastard because it's important. That's another song.
That's the whole song.
That's the whole song.
Okay, there's no chorus, hook,
No need.
bridge.
You know, I'm somebody that I like to be brief, succinct. Tell them what to do. Let them get it in one go. See, you are talking. I did one line. But yeah, guys, you know what to do.
Please.
Yeah.
Do all the
it's
things.
important.
It's important.
It's important.
And then
They
we
want
can...
Beyonce to come to a podcast with 40,000 subscribers.
Thank you. When you people will not subscribe. See,
Lunatics.
sometimes you really upset me. Because we're going up and down. Oh, we're the biggest. Only for you to open there, we don't have up to 40,000 people. What is it? What's the essence?
All right, guys, enjoy the rest of
don't
the
let
episode.
us be disgraced as a community, please. Don't let us be disgraced, please.
Okay, so this dilemma is from an aspiring strict babe. And she says, guys, that's short. I have made some stupid financial choices because of my ex. For example, I took a loan for school that this stupid boy did not finish. Most of my friends listen to this podcast and I'm sure they'll dip his me. But anyway, it's not really a dilemma. I just wanted to let you know that I'll no longer be doing mumu for love anymore. And inshallah, that's what she wrote. I'm entering my strict babe era. So if you are listening to this, don't be a fool like me and take a loan for any stupid boy.
Amen.
Don't worry, you don't have to tell us.
Amen.
I just want to, let you know.
Thank you so much. But can I just ask that, like, this thing of is this a realistic prospect?
Yeah, people take really
People do that
like
too.
big
Okay,
things.
but like how? No, not. I know people do big things, but the specific thing of taking a loan for your boyfriend, though, I'm trying to understand which sort of love.
My own is like he
him
didn't even
to-
finish school.
That's what I'm saying, because he's a clown.
So she
Also,
took
she was taking the loan to pay
No,
his
she took
Yes.
the loan to pay school fees, and
And
he
he didn't
clearly
finish.
did not finish school.
He didn't finish school.
I can't lie, that
how
one,
does
no,
she plan on paying it back?
just pay
She has
back.
to pay back. That one is not his business.
Just pay back.
That one is definitely not his business. She has to pay
and the
that
thing
loan
is,
back.
when they were discussing it, I'm sure there was so much lamba about, I'm doing this for us, baby. Well, now, look at it now.
Yes.
Look at it now.
And this is love.
Yeah.
After school, I'll
It's
take
for
care
our
of you.
future.
Yes.
My
I
dear,
feel bad because I do think I try and imagine like how do you get to that point?
That's what,
Like,
that's
what
what I keep saying, that when will I be so in love that the person I'm with will say they want to go to school? They will now say that me.
Because you have access now. They don't have access.
They don't have what?
They don't have access.
Okay.
I'm not thinking of the way she should have thought. No, she should have just thought,
That means you're not smart enough for that school.
No, what she's probably thinking that, by the time he graduates, he'll do things for her. He'll have a good degree. He'll get a good job.
Also, that payback timeline, I don't know what school this is so long. But even if it's like school for 1 year, after the 1 year, you now have to get a job. Look, many, many things can go wrong.
Many things.
Personally, I wouldn't do it, but I keep trying to imagine. I mean, I get it. People do a lot of wild things, but like, I keep trying to imagine school fees loan.
She was probably in love and all these
Yeah,
things.
for sure.
It's just when you're young, there are risks that just don't seem that big because you only think of best case scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Only
also
ever.
there's a dramatic, I don't know the word I'm going for, but there's a way a relationship is so dramatic and so intense that you just think this is how it's going to be, that you're swept up in the lamba of it all.
Mhm.
And in that moment, this seems like a very good idea. But I put it to you that it's always a terrible idea, always, at all times. Even if the person finishes school, it's a bad idea. So this is what I would say. Are you guys strict babes?
Strict babes.
I'm strict-ish. The thing is, I'm strict early.
Mm-hmm.
I'm strict early, so like it's not a problem
Later.
like down the line. So I tend to like cut off stuff I'm not happy with. And I'm quite non-confrontational. So I just will disappear. Yeah. Like you just won't hear from me. I'll block you everywhere. You just won't hear from me again. I've never really dated people that we have like very close, like we might know the same people, but not close ties. So you're not going to be bumping into me.
Yeah. See,
regularly.
I'm very, in fact, that's my speciality. You will never see me again. Ghosted, like you will never ever see me again.
Yeah. But I think I'm stricter earlier on before I like you a lot. Because I think genuinely it's just harder.
Yes.
Then you become a fool, which is not.
So I'd rather like limit my foolishness on my own behalf much, much earlier. So once you see something that's irritating, I focus on it so that it will grow. Do you know what I mean? Like once you do something that's annoying, I make sure that I focus on that thing so it's just growing, and then I reduce how much I'm talking to you. So all that is on my mind is that thing. So by the time you try talking to me again, I'm just like, I don't I don't want again. I don't know.
What about you? Are you strict?
At the beginning, I'm really strict and I know what I want and this and this and this. And then you start having the feelings. Like, okay, well, you can let that one slide. And then one day, I just wake up and just like, what? No, I'm not. And the things, I have also very delayed reactions.
Yeah.
So it may take me, you may not even see it coming. But then when I wake up, I really wake up.
The thing is, what I realize is that I'm not as strict as I present, but it's a good thing because now maybe you've listened to the podcast. So last person that they said, they used to listen to the podcast. So by the time they got here, there was an assumption of such a level of strictness that, let me tell you the truth, between you and me and all of us listening here, is that assumption that was holding the whole thing. Because left to me in the reality, I would have failed on all my pre-assumptions.
Yeah.
Because one day he just said, oh yeah, like I know you don't like this. I thought, right, sure. I said, absolutely.
Yes, yeah, 100% correct.
100% correct. I can never take that.
Do you know
Meanwhile, taking it like mad.
Do you know what this reminds me of? I can't remember. So this was an old relationship and something had happened with someone where she had given her husband or her boyfriend some money or something and he had blown it or whatever. And my ex was just like, that even thinking about holding my money makes him sweat.
Right.
That he can't imagine even blowing. That he'll be so anxious if he's just like, oh, I said, oh, can you help me just hold? That he said that will be, every day he'll wake up and be checking just to make sure the money is still there. Because in his mind, like that's one of the worst things that I'll just be so angry, I'll fight you, I'll shout. And I was just thinking, sure,
Yeah,
Sure.
honestly,
Like, let's go. Let's go.
That's
Let's
the
go
thing.
with
I
that.
was like, and also, well, fortunately or unfortunately for him, we have 2 mutual friends. And when he called them to say, oh, this was talking to Bob, they both told him that, like, listen, my bro, if I were you, I'll not do this thing that you want to do because that baby somehow, you will not. And so they, not even intentionally, it's just, again, very good perception. They had just created this whole thing in his mind that by the time Gabe talked to me, he was, that he was already moving in a straight line that I was like, this is so funny because half of all these things they're saying, I'm not sure that I would have stood up to all these things that I'm always saying all the time. So I was very glad for the situation. But I find that happens a lot, especially with friends when...
No, but my mom says I'm strict too.
Yeah, no, I think I'm stricter. I think we're stricter than most, but just not... I know that I'm not as strict as I present.
Fair.
Me too.
But just strict in general because one of my friends, we were talking and she was having a dilemma of like, there's one thing she always says. She always says that, no, if it's me, this one, she now called me that, she's trying to decide if she wants to follow through or not. I say, you're a stupid girl. Because since I've done it now, I can never do this. I said, look, I never has met you now.
When emotions get involved,
I say it could be you. And now you're here. And it was just, we were laughing for so long because it was just so funny. And she was like, yeah, in hindsight, this is not that deep for me. But like, because she had made such a song and dance about it, I was like, you have to follow through. Otherwise, you're a liar. And you can't be a liar. So,
I do think people, particularly in relationships, and if you like Nigerian men, which is what unfortunately I tend to like.
It's a sad story.
I do find that they like testing boundaries for the sake of it. They want to see, like almost for no reason, almost. They want to see how much they can push a line you've created. Like if you said, I don't like this, or I would rather you do this, they want to test it just to see. And almost like they want to see how much of a mumu you are for them, just for their own personal pleasure. Almost like, okay, so she says, I don't know, that I shouldn't just be calling her anytime I like. No. Let me try and see. Or I shouldn't just be blowing up her phone. Like, don't call me 6 times in a row. Like, if you call me twice and I don't pick up, send a text.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're going to blow up the phone just to see what you do. And then if you don't call and you're not like, what the hell are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I say, hey, I'm different. I'm special. She loves me.
Yeah, I think so.
I find that a lot of Nigerian men, like, I used a very random example, but I do find that there's a thing where for no reason, they want to be able to feel like I am special and different.
And they are your world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also find...
Which is nice. Which is nice.
I mean, it's nice. I like to feel like I'm also special when people do it. But I say the thing all the time and like people argue, but in general, I really think that Nigerian men like wickedness. They love wicked babes. And it's not because of actual wickedness, like people being mean to you. But I think there's this thing of when you don't want to be the one holding yourself accountable, you love the idea that you're with somebody that will not take it from you. So, everything is equal. Ordinarily, as human beings, we should all be guiding ourselves. But I have a lot of male friends that are just like, I can't be with this one because honestly, I'll do whatever I like. And there'll be nothing. But all their babes are wicked and they love it.
There's a friend of mine that actually said this to me straight up. Like we were talking about how we were at a friend's wedding and a classmate's wedding. And I can't remember what we're talking about. And he was like, and he does it every time he sees me. He's like, I should introduce him to somebody. He thinks, I says, you say this every time we're around people that are in love. Oh, he's ready to get married, blah, blah, blah. I was like, but you told me you were dating one babe. This guy looked me dead in the face. He said, no, I need to be a little bit afraid of my babe for it to work like long term.
I have many, many friends like that.
I said, what do you mean? He just says, no, it's just like, a healthy respect that lets me know that there are boundaries here. I said, that's interesting. He said, yes, that it's not that he can't love or like her, but he just feels like for a real, like a marriage to work for him, he has to feel like, oh no, that's not acceptable with my wife. Like she's not having that in any way. I said, really, like you can't do that by yourself. He says, he could. Well,
that's why I feel.
He has just realized that's what he wants. And he was dead serious.
I really think I've noticed this over, like, I have 3 close guy friends that are just like, at one point or the other, what happened with you and this babe? Yeah, she's too nice. I said, I don't understand. You don't want to be someone else. It's not that I want to be someone that's not nice. She just let him
do whatever.
But like, she will not call me on my bullshit. And like, I can't.
That's really,
and I can't
really
do
important.
it. And so the babes, they've all ended up with, I'm always like, if you like, try it. I can never forget, there was one time we all went out. And so, you know, sometimes you go clubbing and your table, they've packed, as in they've squashed your table with the next table. So, and then he was at the end of the little corner table they gave us. And the next table was all babes. And so one of our friends did a video. And so she did the video like this. And so when you watch the video, it just looks like there's all of us and then him and then all these babes. She was showing it to us. I don't even know what she was showing us. He saw it. He said, eh? He said, please, oh, please. There is peace in my home. I cannot try. We're not like, but she won't say anything. Now she can see that. No, she said, it doesn't matter if she can see or she cannot see or any explanation. She said, because for me to send this and say, oh, I want to explain that they're not. He said, please, I don't like anything that can lead to. He said it won't be her. One of our stupid friends that will now forward it to her that, why is your husband with all this? And he was like, I beg, do another video, start from me. Then show that I'm with friends. So she actually did another video. He was the first person, and she showed that these are all bosom school friends that he's with, not strange ladies, as he puts it. And I was like, this is so funny because I would never have thought big man like you're afraid of your babe. And what's funny is I know
like they just want peace.
I know his wife, she would never have said anything.
No, but
she wouldn't even
I think the risk of not.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He was like, I don't even want the
risk of not having peace.
It's like, I don't even want, who are. He said, do video, start from me like this. Do people that they know, do video this way. And I kept laughing because I was like, wow, the way you always come out, for the girls, only come to find out that actually you are running back home. So yeah, it's really
I have an interesting one here.
Okay.
And this person calls themselves Escaping Grooming Allegations. Says, hi guys, you guys said we shouldn't write long essays, so I love the pod and I love you guys a lot.
Thanks.
Phenomenal women. Now, my dilemma. I'm married to a man 12 years older than I am, but I've been lying through my ass about it. I'm 25, he's 37, but I tell everyone he's 32 to escape grooming allegations. He feels weird about it and I said I'm not proud of him, but he doesn't understand that people might think I am his prey. Now, wow, I'm even trying to help this man save face. For context, he's even older by a few years than my two elder sisters' husbands. And so saying it to be weird, Abby, that's how she wrote it with eyes.
I don't think it's a problem.
I don't think it's that big a problem.
You know the thing.
Problem.
Before I say the real answer, let me tell you what was on this babe's wine. Imagine your older sister's husband saying, big bro.
Oh, do you think that's on her mind?
Yes. I promise you.
Yes.
These are the key things that are
do you know, babes are very silly.
I swear.
Hey.
Is her friends calling him
or her
uncle?
friends will say Methuselah. You are bringing messy baby to the party.
Chief.
No.
I promise you. It's just big uncle, chief, Egbon.
No. I don't.
Do you know that if Jala marries somebody that is as in 40, so I'm going to call him Egbon.
For
it's
sure.
It's just so irritating that I'm going to do it.
Big daddy.
Chief.
Come on. Come off it. I do think maybe, or is there other stuff you're not telling us? Is that you guys are dating when you were 18 and
that's
you were 30?
So what I'm saying is, if you're 25 and let's say you start dating like when you're an adult, where is the grooming coming from?
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem.
Grooming is only, I think people misunderstand the grooming because they only say people are groomed when they started dating them when they were too young to realize this is a weird situation. So if you met him when you were 16, that is weird as hell. And then now you're 25. It's about the when you were 16 that is the grooming. It's not now that you a grown big adult at 25. So I think that is the issue with the grooming thing. It is more about when you started.
But also, is he lying? Is he wrong? Is she also personally worried about him being that much
She
older?
is.
Yeah, so she stopped gaslighting her husband.
Let me tell you something. You are definitely gaslighting your husband because you are concerned about the age gap.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where you didn't think you would do it. And now maybe she thought she'd be with somebody who is 32, who's closer in age. And now her husband is much older and she's feeling shy. And only God knows why, because it's not that serious.
It's really not that serious.
At 25 to 37.
The age gap is not that bad.
It's 12 years.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I wouldn't do it, but that's because I've done it before. And I started.
You didn't?
No. Please.
Really?
No. It's okay.
The oldest person. Really, the oldest person. After anything more than... I remember there was a guy, I'll never forget, that genuinely was toasting me. And I just kept thinking, that's my big bro. Like I couldn't wrap my head. It was a friend, another friend that had to be like, are you aware that this man likes you? I said, he loves my mind. What do you mean? We have stimulating conversations about the world and the economy. What on earth do you think Uncle is looking for? Yeah. When she gave him this feedback, this man called me and said, and I'm 38 too. I don't know why on earth you're saying this rubbish. I think I was like 29 at the time. He was like, why are you saying this rubbish? I said, bon.
So what's the age
So
gap?
the thing is that
9 years.
9 years.
Yeah, so my parents have a small age gap. My parents are 2 years apart.
My parents have a wide age gap. My parents have 15 years.
So the thing is, I'm not you, and I remember even my uncle. So my uncle was about, I think, 7 years older than, and I remember he treated it like such a big deal that she's a baby and he doesn't want anybody to disturb his baby, that you can see he's an elderly person that went to carry a small girl. So in our family, we quite like, my grandparents were a month apart. So that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
So once you're past a certain age, I promise you, actually genuinely, it doesn't occur to me
That they can be moving to you.
And if you see the way I will talk to them, I say, oh, did you say the papers? Because your outfit is nice, I'll say, yes, the cotton is from Jos. Because I don't know what I was supposed to be talking.
To know world statistics.
It's so funny.
To be fair, my grandparents are 15 years. And then my mom, now my parents now is like 11 years. So it's not the age gap. I've also, most of the people I just said are like 6 years and above. It doesn't matter. The point is not about that. It depends. See, let me tell you what it is for me. It's not the actual age.
It's the maturity.
Not even maturity. It's the age of your soul.
Can me please?
Yes. Because I know many people who are in reality 3 years older than me, but if you check, they're 52. If you check very well, in their hearts.
It's maturity.
In their heart, they're actually... Maturity is even one thing. They are old in spirits. Whereas there are a lot of older guys who are very young, like just in general in life. Like it's like people's parents who have a young spirit. It's easy. So I feel like it's one of those things. But let me tell you, the time that I knew that actually I can't do this thing is like, you're dating someone that's 10, 11 years older. And at the time, I was maybe 27, 26. And we were going for people's children's, his own friends' children's dead birthday. And I said, what's happening here? Akaya child be 3. Then they'll have multiple children.
The oldest to be 12.
Yeah, and then all the like wives are like big sis. And first of all, I'm never calling you that. That's insane. But like all the wives are like my older cousins, seniors. It's just a dynamic that I was like socially, and then the worst part was that person had a younger brother who my friends' husbands were friends with. So one of my friends as well was laughing at me that, let me tell you the problem with this P. When we were young, these guys tell us to get out of his room. That we should stop playing FIFA. That's who you're with. So it's just, I feel like the social dynamics matter as well. And if it fits in socially, then you're fine.
Yeah.
But like if they act old, then it cannot work. Like
fair enough.
yeah, I don't know. But I think this one it depends.
It's her.
I don't know. It's her. It's her.
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Thinking about it is her because you liked him enough to marry.
I think she should stop
you
thinking
like him
about
enough
it.
to marry him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's now
married.
the age. Yeah,
That's her husband.
She
That's
needs
her
to get
husband.
over it now.
That's what I'm saying. You like, and do you know how sometimes
Enjoy her relationship.
Imagine your husband lying about your age.
Yeah, that's even awkward.
Like imagine my husband going around saying I'm 28.
That's so awkward. That's so awkward. She needs to enjoy. She
When I
needs to
now
focus
do
on
a
other
birthday
things.
party, like, when are you turning 30?
I mean,
how is this going to work?
By now, is she not used to the age? How long were they together for?
Don't mind her. What is making me laugh is that the man is now stressed.
Yeah.
Because as far as it's concerned, she's embarrassed. Like that's what
She's
his own
embarrassed
problem
in him,
is. Yeah,
yeah.
she's embarrassed.
It's a weird
You're going to start
thing.
making that man wear hoodies
I swear.
and baseball jerseys.
cap.
A face
Oh
cap.
my gosh.
You know what's killing me? When he's turning 40 and they want to do birthday, how is she going to tell the other people that she told he's 32?
By then, she'll be tired of this issue.
Of this
Yeah,
rubbish.
she'll be
Yeah,
tired.
I don't know. I think, look, you're at 25,
You're okay.
you're okay. It doesn't matter. If you're worried about grooming, honestly, the question is when you people started dating. Because if you started dating when you were very young, then I see the grooming issue. But if you started dating when you were like 23, sis, you finished uni, my dear. What's happening?
You know, you guys, this is a crazy dilemma. And this dilemma is going to show you exactly the kind of people that listen to this podcast. This person says, hi guys, I love the upgrade of the podcast. Not a dilemma, but I just had to send this in. I wore a pant liner today and got home to see that it had disappeared. Where has it gone to? Did it fall on the road through my trousers when I was buying food? Or did it fall off when I was in Ebano? God help me, please. I hope my reputation has not been tarnished. God, I wasn't wearing underwear because it was so hot. So I taped the pant liner to my trousers. Anyway, I have deleted it from my memory. But what if someone has it on video of somebody's pant liner dropping on the ground from my body? What a shame. I have definitely learned my lesson and received the message. Anyway, guys, kindly always wear pants. That's what somebody sat down to type.
Do you know, can I just say that in this community, why do we have so many issues of pants?
Yeah, yes.
The last time somebody's boyfriend was not wearing pants. The other time it was an issue of childish pants. Now we're back here again. This is a crazy thing for her to have done. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
In the issue of heat, how is the pants your concern?
Exactly.
Also, why the hell? Sorry, can I just think about... So I want to get into the logistics of taping the pants liner to the trousers.
This is a lunatic. This person is a lunatic. This person is a lunatic. Like this is somebody that... Do you know what it takes for you to decide that, okay, I'm going to tape my panty liner to my trousers?
That's why I keep thinking that, did she now say, oh, let me find sellotape? Then I'll now... What? Also, did you tape it like for it to get lost?
Yes. Like how do you tape?
Or like,
how do you tape it?
Did you like?
And how does it work?
Yeah, because where does it stay?
Of course, it fell out. Of course, it probably fell out when you were leaving your compound. Actually,
your security
and did it
probably.
Do its job?
Oh man, what a lunatic! What a lunatic!
My God. But you can imagine the shock when she like maybe went to the bathroom only to discover that actually
it's not here.
There's nothing here. That's so crazy. What is insane is not the pant liner falling out. Just FYI, what's insane is you. Is you thinking that let me tape it down. Why would you have this idea? Anyway, that's really wild. That brings me to a strange question about people trying things on. In your store.
Ooh.
How particular are you? Because you see a lot of stores that have signs that really make me laugh. Like, you must wear underwear when you're trying things on. And I always imagine what happened.
Do you know?
That led to the sign.
Do you know this thing you're saying reminds me of, I think it kind of went viral. I think it was on Instagram or TikTok. And it was this babe that sells like jeans in the market. And she was so frustrated. She said, please be wearing pants. You cannot come and say you want to try things on in my store. I am not wearing pants, ma. Let me not embarrass myself and embarrass you. It was so funny. She went on and on and on. People were now writing in here, but Lagos is hot in the comments, but you know that Lagos is hot. Something. She was just like...
So it's hot so you don't wear pants?
Yes.
Surely it's hot so you wear the pants, no?
No,
I'm sorry, but that's really crazy because now you're sweating
Yeah.
from everywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
Onto the surfaces.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
Yeah, I went through a pants-free era.
Really?
Yes.
What?
They had to threaten me.
Why didn't you just buy a thong? What's going on?
I don't like anything catapultish.
Are you a psychopath?
I don't believe in it. No. I believe that pants...
It's breezy.
Pants also tells you what it is. Pants.
It's pants in the front.
It's packs.
Have packs what?
That's what pants is supposed to do.
Because a lot of times I'm just like, okay, fine. If you're not in an underwear, buy a G-string, wear it. That's fine.
That's a catapult.
It's pants.
No, it's not.
It's pants.
That's an aberration.
Non-VPL thong. Pants.
Yeah.
Fair to you guys.
Yeah.
I went to a pants fair and...
Because how can you just be
That means
walking around?
You have to like wash your jeans and stuff.
Yeah.
After every single
No.
wear.
You can't wear jeans and not wear pants. No, come on.
But Jola, that's what people are doing.
No. Pants free is for breezy wears. Yeah, breezy, silky. Not even trousers. You can't wear trousers on.
Yeah, you can't even wear linen. It's hot.
But you can't not wear pants.
You actually can't not
You
wear
people are
pants.
saying you can't. I'm telling you that I was doing it. You people are telling me can't. I'm telling you.
But yeah,
I can be whatever I want to be.
They told you that you can't steal 45. So please.
Okay, no, but genuinely, like that to me is crazy. The fact that you're going somewhere to try things on.
I'm sorry, that's madness.
Oh, my former tailor also told me that people would come for fitting.
I forget their pants.
And they won't wear pants. And she'll just be like, guys, hope nothing.
That's really, I'm sorry, there's so many situations where people are not wearing underwear that I just, be wearing pants, I think is the key. But back to what I was saying, just in general, have you had like funny things with people trying things on in a non-appropriate manner? Because I imagine that you need to be wearing underwear in the store.
So what we do, to be honest, we haven't. We haven't.
To be fair, that's a classy place.
We have.
You can't be rocking up into Banke Kuku.
We haven't had any issues.
And be pantless.
We haven't had any issues.
Yeah, because I always wonder about that. Or like if someone has body odor and they've worn like the mesh. That's crazy.
We've had a few of those. But then we just, we have to dry clean.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, please. I don't want to hear anything more about pants.
Okay, fine.
Do you know
This
what I mean?
person is blind lover girl.
Okay.
Who says, my partner has told me he will eventually get a side chick.
Huh?
I noticed his opinion on the subject for a while and decided to ask him directly. He said, and I quote, asking me if I'll have a side chick in future is like asking me if I have a penis. When I asked him what that meant, he said he doesn't know what the future holds. He's the first and only person I've ever dated and has never cheated on me, and I have never cheated on him. But his opinion on certain issues scares me. We've been together for 5 years now and should be getting married soon. But this side chick matter is making me have second thoughts. Am I selfish or foolish to believe that there's a man out there that will never cheat on me, especially as all my married colleagues at work brag about cheating on their wives? I can't handle a cheating partner because I can see what it does to my mom. However, I don't know how to talk about it with him or talk it out with him. I would love it if he were a bit honest with me so I can count my losses and move on. Please help a naive lover girl. Okay, he has not been honest yet.
Okay, she's having second thoughts.
Okay.
Only second? She has not reached the third and the fourth thought about it. She now said that she's also going to marry the man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
You should go ahead.
I think her worry is she wrote what she's worried about, that they've been dating for 5 years.
What's she worried about?
Yeah, so it's sunk cost. We've spoken about this thing so many times.
That was
so
she
the
worried
thing
about.
is, yes, let me tell you what it is. She feels like I've spent 5 years here. I'm seeing something I can't deal with. But because of the time I've invested here,
you're just going to go and...
What she wants is for us to tell her how to go and get him to change his mind.
Let me tell you the key points I want to highlight in this story. When she asked him, what does that mean? Look at that question. Is that a thinking individual? Somebody said that, saying that them not having a side chick, saying they don't have a penis. You now said, what does it mean? Okay, you're looking for the deeper meaning beyond, I will absolutely cheat on you. Just give it time. Also, are we all joking here that in 5 years, a person that has yarned you this one, you think he has also not cheated on you?
No, don't worry. It's still coming.
We're whining ourselves. And that's why I don't really have advice for this babe, because she knows she's whining herself. And she just wants to continue. If you like, don't leave him.
No, she's not going to leave him.
No. If she likes, she shouldn't leave him.
She's setting herself up for a life that she's going to be unhappy with. You are setting yourself up for
disaster. And
100%.
Do you get, you're in a fortunate situation where this person is actually telling you, I am definitely going to cheat 100%. You don't have to doubt it. Just give it time. It's going to happen. I'm going to have a side chick. So now they've put it in your... See, you know when they said they will set a table in the presence of your enemy has set the table for you. Who is your boyfriend? And he has said, let me just tell you, this is what's coming in your front. So if you want, you can keep going and count the 5 years that you've been with him and assume that it's not going to happen. That's all.
Yeah, it's a bit sad. I think.
Is it?
It is. It is. When people can't.
She said he has been saying it for a while.
But she already loves him.
Okay, it's late already. It's already late.
No problem.
But she's not writing to us for help.
No. She knows.
She's just preparing her mind.
Sis, I'm sorry that this is happening. I'm sorry that your boyfriend is a clown. But you know what you have to do. So I don't know what we're talking about. Also, in this context, you still agreed to marry him.
She's marrying him.
Girl, let me tell you, if I were you, I'll run, I'll not walk. It's difficult, but unless you actually just get out, then it's one of those things that you know what will happen when he cheats. He's going to say that, but I've been saying this for ages.
I've told you.
And then you're going to feel very foolish. And you don't want to put yourself in a position where it's I am the one that walked into this problem by myself. So if I were you, it would be, don't get me wrong, breaking up with someone you've been with for 5 years is hard. But if I were you, I would do the pain now. Because the tears that are waiting for you at your front, you won't believe it.
It's going to be crazy,
you
baby.
Won't believe it. Because you would have known.
It's going to be crazy.
You're also always waiting for the other foot to drop.
Always.
In this situation. Because he has told you, you're always waiting to find out that, he has a side chick because he has said it. And this is the kind of openness I love. See, she said that they're not being honest with each other. Who is not being honest?
She's not being
One
honest with
person is being
herself.
so clear and honest.
Yeah.
You are the one that is not telling him that actually I can't take that, so we gotta go.
That's really, I don't know. It's
unfortunate, to be honest.
is.
You're right. It is sad.
It's very
But
sad.
like, you can't change him. And I would hope that you
He doesn't even have any interest in changing.
Yeah, I would hope that you know that now. Before, please, I'm going to say please don't marry him. Please, if you don't mind. If it's okay.
She's just, look at me, please. I think she's just sad.
I think she's just being.
She's
just imagine
sad.
someone you've been going out with for ages saying to you, "Oh, by the way."
But you know what this is? This is giving that. You know, we always talk about that thing of wanting to feel special.
Yeah.
So the thing is, she
don't
didn't
feel-
ask out of the blue.
Yeah.
So he's been saying things that allude to the fact that he thinks cheating is not a big deal. So she just asked straight up, like, okay, I understand what you think generally.
But like with
But
me,
within this our relationship, and he's like, yeah, of course you're going to have a side chick. So what it is that she had heard his like opinions on this thing for a long time, but she just thought that didn't apply
to her
and to them. It happens. People do it all the time.
You know what? I'm sorry for being a bit judgy, but like, I just think that again, it's one of two things: pain now, pain later. So those are your options. It's up to you. You can do the wedding and all that, and then you've now brought your families together and all of that, and have the pain then. Or you can just do it now and know that you're keeping it moving without actually finding out what it is like when your husband has a side chick. So if I were you, I would just free it now. I'm sorry. But also extremely crazy for the person you're with to yarn you that they're going to have a side chick. Extremely
that means
crazy.
he's a bit of a...
The disrespect is not...
The disrespect
Yes.
is actually blowing my mind.
Yes.
It's a high level.
He doesn't have like any regard for her.
No.
He doesn't care about her feelings.
That's all.
It's a high level of disrespect.
Okay, this final one is a bit more serious. This person is called Chi Extravaganza. And she says, hi, super babes. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm in a weird position. My husband and I are in a long distance marriage and it's driving me crazy. In April last year, a client he consulted for offered him a VP position in London with really good perks. So far, I've traveled 4 times and he came home for Christmas. We agreed to keep doing that until I got used to the idea of living in London. But now I know that it's crazy expensive, especially as he's the one paying for everything. I also happen to be a UK citizen, so it's not the visa that's an issue, but the thought of moving my entire life to London is terrifying and gives me a lot of anxiety, especially because I'm now pregnant with our first. I just started a business in Abuja and it's doing well. So I'm really terrified of being a first-time parent without my mom and sisters around to help. For context, I'm the last born, but I still have no clue. I'm in London now and he has asked me to please consider staying until the baby comes so he doesn't miss it, and that makes me conflicted. My mom and sisters won't leave their lives to come and spend months with me in London for Omugo, but I also want to have my husband around. A big part of me wishes he declined the job offer, which I know is very stupid because I spend this new salary even more than him. Please advise me.
Girl, this is a tricky one. This is very tricky.
She has to follow her husband now.
I don't know that she has to, but like, so I don't think it's that straightforward.
Let's start with the first thing. You're having that baby in London first.
Ma. So the issue I want to point out to you is whether you choose to stay in
Let
London
everybody's
or
head be
not,
correct.
girl, you are a British citizen. Even if you don't want to do private, NHS is quite free. If I were you, I would consider my health. Go and do the baby in London. Whether you're coming back or not, separate matter. But I had a lot of friends that went to London to give birth, 3.5 months or whatever.
Yeah.
They were back. They didn't die.
Yeah.
So that's number one.
I think it's like a month and a half or 2 months, and then it's safe for the baby to travel.
Yeah, and so you can do that if you decide you're not staying.
You can now come back and then do like, you're not going to have the help immediately, but you can then come back and have your mom and your sisters help you and like also help you feel a bit more prepared to be a mom, like be able to do things by yourself and not feel as overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Over time. I think that your fear of discomfort is you have to decide what's important, like right at this moment. And I don't think it's wise for you to say we're going to be doing a long distance marriage
for a long time.
Not for a long time, but there's no like it's just open-ended. They haven't said for a year or for 7 months. I think it's just really dangerous to get used to not living with your partner.
Yeah.
Because they become annoying to you. They are you live lives separately. Yeah. And so when you're spending time together, you just find each other annoying because somebody is basically just in the way of how you do things. It's like if you ever went to boarding school, you come home and you and your siblings and your parents are not getting along for a couple of weeks because you're not used to living in the house with each other. I just don't think it's a healthy dynamic. I got from my dad. My dad once my daddy hears, oh, he lives in London. Even my friends, he'll call them. He don't even know them. He'll say, please send me their number. He hates it so much. He's just like, no, you guys have to grow together. Like early on.
It's really important. It's really important. Yeah.
I just think, I think very early, just for the sake of figuring your life out together, 1. 2, there's nothing as scary as doing something for the first time. If you're a first time mom, I'm sure that it's super overwhelming, but not to the point that you flip your life upside down. I think you and your husband are intelligent people. To me, if you can grow a business in Nigeria, if you can work hard, you can do almost anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, this is not an
everything
enabling
is stacked
environment.
against
And it's
you.
really important to keep the family together at the first child, you know, and the fact that he wants her to stay back, you know, it sounds like he should stay.
He's a sweet man.
Personally, me, I just think that you have to think about what is going to be best for the family and not just you.
Yes.
So that's just the truth. So again, you look at things. We don't know how well your business is or is not doing. But if you tell me that you're the one spending all that man's money, it sounds like he has a very good job with an income that can cover the two of you. Secondly, just like Jola said, please consider not having that baby here. There are many, many, many reasons to consider, but you're a British citizen. Go and have the child in your home country. Okay.
Also, there's stuff about that. There's very interesting things. So, an aunt of mine that basically, like, her son has in essence kind of retired her in London, and she was just telling me that, recently one thing, because she's bored, one thing she has started doing was she started helping parents look after children. Because what would happen is her son and his wife, she started to, not a burden, but she just felt like there's a lot of respect in the house when she's there. And so she started doing like live-in work. And I couldn't believe when she was talking to my mom about it. So in essence, she'll just tell them that, in April, the first week, this couple, I think they were doctors or something. And so their schedules were pretty hectic. And so she takes care of the kids during the week. She really enjoys it because she's not doing that much. And during the weekends, the parents both have time off, so they're able to spend time with the children. So that they don't see their children at all, but they just feel better because she's around and she's like a paid granny, nanny, whatever. People have options.
I think there are options, and I think the problem is you're allowing your fear of, particularly your mom and sister, not being able to come, shifting.
They'll be more than all right.
Of cloud the idea of, okay, but what is best for all of you moving forward? It can be that you're like, look, you're here now, you've just gotten this job, it's amazing. I'm about to have a baby. Let's do 1 year, let's do 2 years, fixed end dates, and then all of us are going back. If it's that you really want to come back and you really want to do this thing that you're doing in Nigeria. Also, have you asked your mom and your sister if they can do do you know what I mean? I just feel like there are options that you can explore that. And also, if you consider the opposite, if you stay, are you expecting him to come back and leave the cushy job and then all of you don't have income? Remember that you're having a baby and babies are not that cheap.
Yeah.
So personally, in this particular scenario, I would go. Because also, you're British, but I would also fix the time frame for if you want to come back. The other thing is, you people know on this podcast, I'm vehemently against long distance. Even for relationships, I think it is nonsense. Sorry to say, if you are. I think also, like, when you're married, it blows my mind. Obviously, there's situations where for a time, you have to do it. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who that's just what it is. There's no, in April, you're coming back or whatever. So I personally wouldn't do it. And I think that you are underestimating the impact of having not people around you, your husband who is having the child with you there. I think you're vastly underestimating what that is. And so if I were you, no matter what you decide, when you have that child and those first few weeks, I would try for two of you to be in the same place.
I think it also shows like just our Nigerian understanding of caretaking. Because you don't see it as your husband's role at all.
Yeah, you don't.
Like it's for me, my mom, my sisters.
At no point have you mentioned that, he'll be there, he'll take paternity leave. Because he's working for a company in England. He has rights, he can take paternity leave.
Yeah, it's just also like, just start the way you want to continue.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't create an environment where the excuse of I'm busy or I'm working means you're not pulling your weight when it comes to like the baby.
Yeah.
So because that will continue to be the case.
So if you start and from the beginning, your husband is just everything that is new for you is new for him too.
Mhm.
So you're learning and
You're doing it
you're building
together.
that bond
Yeah.
together. But I do think that if anybody that's able to afford for you to travel that frequently, you can find the finances to find care to help you like with child care.
And even if you can't, I think it's worth figuring it out when you're there. Because first of all, with a baby that's just like, even after they're a newborn that you can fly, you don't want to be taking a 6-month-old flying up and down to London, coming back. You don't want to do this thing. So the truth is, it's not going to work. And so you guys have to figure out where you're going to be. If I were you, I'll be in London. But it sounds like you have other ideas. My own is 2 of you have to be in the same place. I don't get, your mom and your sister are outside people helping for a time. Your husband is the second parent that is there. 2 of you have to raise that child together. So 2 of you have to do that beginning. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it without
And even building community. There's like mommy and me groups. There's so many things to help you figure it out. It's just going to take you realizing that for the sake of the family I now have, like my new family, I'm going to like go out of my comfort zone and do this for this time. Yeah. It's just really important. And when you make that, I don't know, I just feel strongly about it. There's a way you like show you're willing to make a certain sacrifice that tells, like, you signal to yourself and your partner that, look, I'm doing this big thing for us. Yeah. And so like we're both doing big things for one another. Of us, Not that you take this big job that takes you away from the family and I make
do this other thing.
Like I'm just in Lagos with my mom, in Abuja with my mom and my sisters, and I'm you have to like invest fully.
You have to show commitment to your new family.
Yeah.
I think also a lot of people go abroad to have the child. At least start there. Do it first. Do the month. Then see if you want to come back. Because you might find that actually it's a good reason you're going to have your baby there. It's safer. Like, I'm sorry, there's no argument there. It's safer. And so you have your baby and you do the couple of months you have to do before you can fly back. And then maybe that's the decision that you make. But I wouldn't stay in Abuja until having a child. I'm so sorry to say about it. So sorry.
And we said it already with the business. If you can grow a business in Nigeria with the grit and the quick thinking and understanding, like just having to build all these other, you become... It's you that will now know how many KVA is needed for all the things that are not your business, building a business anywhere else. You will figure something out. You will. You're capable. Don't discount that.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not really for, because your husband got a job, you should just move. But the context here is very key and you're having a baby. I'm sorry to say, it changes a lot of things. You're having a baby. I would not advise that you do it by yourself. Not obviously you're not by yourself, but you know what I mean. Without the father of the baby also present. So it's all you said that you want to be in Abuja, no problem. I would not do that. But I think the 2 of you should be there. And those first few months is very, very crucial that it's not, obviously you have help and support from family, but that the 2 parents are doing that work of now we have a new baby and adjusting. Not that you've adjusted yourself and then he comes to visit and you're showing him the routine number. I'm not ready for that. So this is my thing. This is why my thing with long distance relationships is I just don't understand it fundamentally.
Okay, how do you feel about long distance?
I don't agree with it. Well, not that I don't agree with it. It's possible. People do it. But for me, no. No.
Yeah. I would do it for a time, just like a period of time. But once I feel irritated at the idea of being around you, then we have to figure something.
I just think it creates, I mean, obviously this is a Captain Obvious things to say, but like there's emotional distance as well. Like it's just, lives
are just so separate.
I don't understand this. You now be catching me up on things, please.
Exactly.
I have a friend who grew up in, and it's something that I've never seen people really tell like stories about or write in films or books about, where one parent will live in Nigeria and one parent will live in England. So it's usually like the mom will be in England with children and the dad is in Nigeria. And it was just the way it was for them. But I think once we hit like around uni, she was just like, this is very dysfunctional. So she had like a big girl conversation with her mom and she was like, yeah, I'm happy when I see him. Like when we see, but we just don't have a deeply romantic relationship. It's not so dangerous. It's not that. Yeah. Like at some point, we just realized we're not a family in the same way, but it's beneficial for the children. And she was like that. It was very disappointing to her because she thought of it in a very like, oh, my parents love each other so much, they're just making it work. But it was that they just have separate lives. They're like two ships passing in the night in essence. And so for a couple of months, they come to Nigeria or he comes to England for like Christmas, Easter, and maybe 2 or 3 weeks, they'll have like a family holiday. But that she then realized like, well, she just felt like blinders came off. Like, oh, of course he has a girlfriend in Lagos.
Yeah.
And my mom is doing the heavy lifting with the kids. So it can be, no, this is just not normal. I don't know. I just thought of, I remember, because there's so many people that I met who would say that like, oh, like their parents are married, but their dad is in Lagos. Their mom is in London, or their dad is in Lagos, their mom is in New York. It happens a lot, and there was, I guess people just didn't talk about it as, but if you want a happy, healthy relationship, I don't think that's the way to go.
I don't. I really don't. But yeah, I know someone who did that maybe 2 years ago. I remember asking him that like, I know that the byline that you're telling everyone is that, oh, this just works out better, you know. She's doing something there and she got a job and I was like, but like, yeah, me, and he was like, yeah, this is a trial separation. Yeah, he was like, that's what's happening. We don't want to be in the same place. Oh, this is one of our job. It's nothing like that. We decided it should be this way so that everybody can.
It's hard. I think there's a way you ought to miss your partner. If not, you should question. You should be like, are we just really good?
Want to be near
Are we just
you?
really, really good friends now? Yeah, because there's a way you should miss your partner or just be upset that they are missing something. There's only so much, even with friends, like if you're very close to your friends, there's only so much describing before the friendship changes. So how much more in marriage? I don't know. I think we're slightly unrealistic about what it means if you just don't want to be with your partner in that way properly.
Yeah.
Me, if I don't want to be, if I'm telling you, oh yeah, it's fine, just Star Wars, just be like, yeah, this girl she's
gone.
This girl is
out.
Her head
if
is
I
not
tell you that
again.
I'm moving to a separate country, no, you're not coming. Just don't worry yourself. I said I'm not doing again. Don't worry yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway.
Okay, yeah,
Good
but
luck.
now Banke Kuku, the origins. Tell us how the business started, how you go into fashion, all that good stuff.
Okay, so I studied textiles in university.
So you actually studied it?
Yeah, I did. I studied textiles at Chelsea College of Art and Design, and I did my art foundation in Central St. Martin's. And then so I studied textiles. I went on to work within the fashion industry. So I was designing fabrics in-house, like in fashion houses.
Oh, okay.
I worked at a brand called Jasmine DeMilo, which was owned by the daughter of Mohammed Al Fayed, so based in Harrods.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then I worked for lots of other brands, and I started freelancing, designing. I started designing prints for like Nigerian brands. And things like that. So on the side, I had my own sort of interior line, like cushions and curtains and things. I would design that, and I would go to Maison Objet in Paris and would sell there, and we then distributed to different outlets around the world, in America, Australia. Like, it was my thing. And then I moved back to Nigeria.
What made you move back?
I got married at the time. I moved back to Nigeria because my husband at the time was living in Nigeria. And then I had to change what I mean. I just felt like the market didn't respond well to interior. Like, no, they didn't. No, it's not that they didn't. It's just the interior industry in Nigeria is very different from anywhere else.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Working with artisans, and it's hard just to say, okay, this person needs a coffee table, I'm just gonna go and buy one. There wasn't so much. Now it's better, but access to ready-made furniture was very limited. And also, I just felt very separated from what my core idea, which was designing textiles for interiors. Nigerian interior industry was just not there yet. It's now getting better and it's evolving, but it was also very it wasn't fast, moving. And then my customers were just like, they love my prints. Can't I just do them for fashion? Like kaftans and dresses. So I had one customer and I made her a kaftan. And then she was like, her friends want a kaftan too. So I made some for her friends. I decided to do a capsule collection, but I wanted pieces that would complement my interior design. So pieces you wear at home, loungewear, pajamas, kaftans, like loose-fitted, easy pieces. And so I launched my first mini collection, which was November 2019. And it was really successful and it was great. And then, and then then a few months later, we all went into lockdown.
Yeah.
And I was, I think they gave us like 2 days to get everything, fill your house, but I spent those 2 days just taking pictures of everything. It wasn't online. I didn't have a website. My Instagram had like 40 followers. And I wasn't really, I was just so focused on the store and the setting up the business here. I just hadn't really started posting online like that. So I just took pictures of absolutely everything. We set up a website in 2 days. And, I was just like, okay, well, I just have to pray and see what happens. Because I was like, this has to work. Because if it doesn't work, then I don't know whether my business can survive. Because I had just hired staff. We had stock. It was, it was really worrying. But then I woke up one morning and my pajamas were just like, people were ordering them online from different parts of the world. And I had like fluorescent yellow parrot pajamas and pink pajamas and they were so brightly colored. And so we were fulfilling these orders because our stock just arrived. And we were sending them out via DHL to different parts of the world. People were paying online with, we had international payment gateways at the time and they were working really well. And, people were more starting to engage more. So then I started posting pictures of how I was styling my pajamas at home and my following started growing. And I had these Instagram lives about, how to style yourself at home. And I would talk to other stylists and other people within the community. And then we started making masks for like out of the silk, the offcuts of the silk. And we started giving some to local people in the community as well. And it just started to grow and take shape. And I think the style of my pieces really lended to the times. It was, and as I said, everybody was online. Everybody was on Instagram. Everybody wanted to because everyone was at home, not doing that much. So it was a time where growing your following was much easier than it is now. And yes, that's how the brand started.
Oh, cool.
That's crazy because I remember there was a time where everybody was not wearing Banke Kuku. And then there was a time where everybody had the silk sets.
Yeah.
Everybody I knew had the silk set. And I was just like, come on, what has happened? Where did everybody get this? And I feel like, I don't even know if it started, but that was when I first noticed the two-piece situation that was going on. It was after lockdown that I was like, okay, everybody is wearing the up and down. And I remember my mom got a blue and pink one.
No.
But she saw it had like a pink cord. And it was like pink and I don't know if the blue is flowers. Anyway, it's pink and blue. And I was like, okay, what is this thing? And then you had these buttons that were like not normal buttons. They were different shaped buttons. Anyway, it was really fun. But you always ask these things. Did you, obviously from the story, you didn't know, but did you imagine it would happen like that?
No, I didn't. I had no idea it would happen like that. I just thought, well, this is my passion and I actually am starting to enjoy fashion because I was always designing for fashion designers and designing their textiles. So I understood the industry pretty well. And it was like my new passion and I just wanted to make it work. And especially in the times, it was like such a challenge for me to understand how to navigate that, the limitations.
What was it like growing a fashion business specifically during lockdown? And what did that look like? Because I think sometimes there's an idea of what it takes to build a fashion business in Nigeria. Like you hire artisans and you have an idea for a design. But the pandemic was such a left swing. Like technically we all saw it coming, but
yeah, we did see
I think there's something very Nigerian about, I won't get here, don't worry.
Oh, that's what I thought.
Also, it won't be that long.
Yeah.
Yes, it doesn't. Oh, I remember when people were saying it doesn't affect Black people.
Yeah.
Like, the virus
people were saying, it's not on the mainland.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah. It was actually much easier.
Really?
Yes.
Than now?
Yeah, because people are a lot more forgiving, as in you have more time to process your
They're not going
orders.
anywhere.
Exactly. People, people are more engaged into your brand and the story, and they want to know more, and it's exciting. And you're kind of pouring out positivity because the story behind the brand is positive, and you're wearing fluorescent yellow pajamas at home. It's just something to kind of brighten up your day. I got to a point where I was really enjoying it, and it was actually quite daunting coming out of that lockdown because then people, then we had to change up our designs a bit more.
Yeah.
Because people then were out and
you need other clothes.
yes, and pajamas of course, they're still our key products, but people wanted more than pajamas. So there was more, the people became more demanding. We want more things. Can you do skirts? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm just like, I actually thought I was going to do pajamas for the rest of my life. So then you have to, so if your customers are asking for certain things, you have to deliver.
Fair enough.
Oh, wow. That's super interesting. I didn't actually realize pajamas are still your key product. That's like, what I was going to ask is, how are you making them in the middle of the lockdown? Like, especially when people are ordering now, so that I imagine at some point you've run out of initial stock.
So no, there was some times where we'd have delays because DHL couldn't deliver things because they were delivering PPE kits and stuff like that. But our suppliers were still moving and working. My workshop at the time was moving. My staff were kind of living either really close by or living in the building.
Yeah.
So we just kept moving. We just kept going. And at first everything was literally locked down, and we couldn't get supplies.
Anything, yeah.
But luckily we had just restocked, so it worked in our favor.
Oh wow.
What's it like hiring generally? So I think that there's like, I would say, like highly skilled work, and then there's like semi-skilled labor, and there's skilled labor, but the requirements are different. And I always ask people who own fashion businesses, like shops, spas, what's it's like to manage staff, because you become, even if you don't want to, and I don't know if it's just a Nigerian thing, but you become very involved in people's lives.
Oh, of course.
In a way that you didn't plan for or like expect. Like there was no time when you were thinking, okay, I'm going to start this business, and you've hired people. You do not know that somebody's marital problems are going to become
yours,
issue,
their children,
school fees, their mom died, or something has happened, and now they're like emotionally down. There's a way we are engaged more on this side of the planet than anywhere else, I think, because our boundaries are very, very different. So I wanted to ask what that's like, particularly in the fashion business, because fashion business now is like, it's the fashion industry here is really, really growing. So I wanted to ask, what's like your day-to-day like of dealing with staff in general? Because we have lots of people who are like, a lot of our audience are quite aspirational. Like they want to build stuff.
Well,
and
to be honest, my staff are like my best friends.
Are you serious?
I speak to them every day. I see them every day. Like they're the closest people to me. And even when I had when I was ill and I had COVID and stuff, it was my staff that was sending me food. Man, are you okay? Like we're a family within my business. So I don't hear, now that we've grown, I don't hear every single issue. It will I will get the
more important ones. Yeah.
But for me, my staff's problems are my problems. I don't like. I'm not. I don't think I'm an empath, but I definitely can relate. I'm relatable. I can relate to people. So their well-being is my concern, because they have to be doing well so my brand can grow.
Yeah.
And that's in a selfish way. But generally, I'm Banke Kuku is about the fashion, but it's also about the community. And I love to see their lives grow, and their kids are in school, and you can see like when they first start, like maybe they're skinny, and then a few months later they really gotten fat.
They're eating good.
So I love to see their growth, and I love to hear that we're helping them solve their problems. Yeah,
I think it's just important to kind of try and give people like an inkling of how to figure that stuff out, because there's the fear of being overwhelmed or being taken advantage of.
Oh yeah, so we can't do everything.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the ones we can do, we'll do. And even when we won't give you everything. We'll give you some.
You do your best,
We'll do,
basically.
yes. And they know that, we are, we'll always try and do our best. If I'm not being wicked, you just know that it's not possible.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, I keep going on about hiring, but so I'm very big on, people call them personality hires, but I'm really, really big on, I look out for things that are very personality driven.
Oh yeah, me too.
Like culture fits and all this.
A culture fits for that. But I think because before I used to be very, very skill driven. Like that was top of mind for me. I wanted to know like you are the best at what you do. Like if I need you to have certain skills, I want you to have 100% of those skills. But more and more, I'm starting to realize, particularly in our environment,
it's definitely personality, because the skills can be learned.
Yeah.
In most roles. And you have to see, I hate that thing when you have someone who is the bad egg.
Yeah.
And like they're literally poisoning the rest of the team. And causing or trying to show somebody else up. We don't do that. We are literally a community,
team, yeah.
and the idea is to grow the brand so we can all enjoy from that.
Mm-hmm.
You also realize it's not worth it.
It's not. Personality is like the most.
Yeah.
I think I have been so lucky, with my staff, and I mean not lucky because it's been intentionally going out to look for certain personalities, but it's you just have to manage. Sometimes people do slip. People have their moments where they want to shine more than other people or whatever. But I always try and cultivate this idea that we're all working as one, and the moment we don't, the machine stops moving.
Yeah, it's just something that I've realized more and more why it matters, why you choose to care about some things more than others. So like a big thing for me has always been like curiosity. So I like when people are curious, like they want to know how to do something.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to this is how I've always done it, and this is how I do it, and this is what I want to do. Because it just doesn't work. Because we might find ourselves situations where we all have to learn something together, and if you're really, really good, but you're not teachable, now everybody is walking around extras, or we have to beg and cajole, or there's a whole thing about Mr. Taiwo doesn't do it like this. Mr. Taiwo will get angry, or everybody's afraid to give Mr. Taiwo an instruction because he doesn't. Yeah. And no matter how good you are, it gets to a point that we can't grow because you are just a stumbling block in how you do your thing. No matter how good or neat or fast you are, it's just not worth it in designing company culture.
Yes.
I have a different question because a lot of my friends in fashion are always complaining about tailor turnover. Do you have that? Because it seems like people are always, as in tailors are always moving up and down. People are always moving other people's tailors. Do you have that, or have you managed to figure that out?
I managed to figure it out.
Oh, I like that.
I love that.
I like that. That's so. Yeah. I don't even want to say lucky because over time you develop like the muscle. Yeah. And the eye.
You figure out what is working.
And that personality thing is so important. Yeah. Because I've interviewed tailors and they'll say, if it's a man, he'll say, he can't take instructions from a woman. You already know he's out, no matter how amazing he is. Yeah. It can't work, some of my tailors have been with me since I started.
Oh, wow.
Like literally from day one. And we're still at it. So, we just keep adding and, taking away sometimes. But generally speaking, no.
Yeah, I like that. It's funny because this is one of my most honed in interview skills, especially when I interview men that cannot work for women. I see it in the first 5 minutes and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Some of them don't realize they can't.
Yeah.
That's the thing that has made me. That has been the most shocking.
I had a bidder, and I think he asked for something, and I was like, I said no. I think he wanted to take some extra days off to do whatever he was doing. I was like, no, because we have deadlines, and it was me and my accountant, and we're talking to him. He couldn't look at me. And he was like, she said I can't go. And I'm like, yes, I said that, but he wouldn't look at me. He'll just be responding to the other guy. So I was like, what?
It's always a tell. It happens like that all the time.
You don't have to come back.
Yeah. For a lot of roles, I have one of my managers to the interview, but I sit in, and it's so funny because most Nigerians come in and they can't fathom in their mind. There's two people sitting on two tables. They can't fathom in their mind that I'm the one. And so what will happen is the manager is always looking at me like, oh, what do you have anything to say? And the person is just, you see them trying to calculate that. I don't get what's happening here. Why does he keep looking at her? And I will now say something. And obviously they don't have any context. I haven't said, this is my company. I haven't said, my dear, I also did engineering. I've not said anything. So I will say something. And last week, one guy was like, no, sis, this is not. And my manager says, sis. He said, you came into an interview and you're on sis. Even forget woman, not just in the context that you came here for a job interview and two people, sis? I was like, sis is so crazy. Yeah. But in his mind, he was just like, what the hell are you talking about? And who is talking to you?
It's really tricky. It's really very dry. How to balance certain things out is just very, very tricky. Yeah. So a friend and I are starting something and we've been having trouble. And we just realized some it's not every battle you fight. So we call one of our friends, one of the more troublesome guys. The attitude that people used to talk to him is so different. So different. We just called him that, look, please, we're trying to get something done. Can you talk to this person? He's like, okay, what do you guys want? We told him. And so some of that stuff, you might get down in the dumps about it. But then also there's some stuff he did when he got there. I realized like, oh, this is what we should have done or said earlier. I just didn't realize like it was something that I had to think about. It's hard and it's weird. It happens sometimes even casually, like dealing with a mechanic or dealing. Once they see a woman, they're just like, this one is a mumu, I'll take her for a ride. So I think sometimes with certain types of businesses, you just get an instinct of who people are able to take instructions from. There are also some women that won't respect you because you're unmarried or you don't have children. So they will just treat you somehow. They think your time is disposable. It's not just that. You don't have anything important.
Your life seriously.
You're not doing anything that is that important
It's
anyway.
all part of it, So you have to figure all these things out. I have a more fun question about perception. I know we asked you this when we were at the store. Now, look, if we do Starter Pack, Lagos Big Babe, Starter Pack, there are a couple of things that are included. You know, we know the shoes that they wear. We know the sunglasses they wear. We know the jewelry that is included. And there's also Banke Kuku silk. There's also Banke Kuku silk. If you're a true Lagos Big Babe, you have to have somewhere in your wardrobe. Banke Kuku silk is very important as you're coming out as a Lagos Big Babe. And like, are you aware of this perception? And I am aware. Because you know, a lot of people are so humble.
I am aware.
And like, I don't know how does that feel?
I wouldn't say. You said big. So is it just? No, it's not just for the. It's not big.
No.
Girl.
It's not only for the big girl, but like in the starter pack of I am a Lagos big girl now. You always see it. It's always part of it.
Yeah. No, I didn't see it like that. I didn't see it like that. I know I definitely have some really great customers who are very loyal to me. And I know that people value wearing the clothes to events and it makes them feel a certain way. I am aware of that. But yeah.
Was it something you thought of? Because I think, so I want us to talk a little bit about so there's Lagosians, Nigerians are obsessed with the idea of branding. Having a certain type of brand, a certain type of look and feel. And so I think what happens, unfortunately for us, is we do, because a lot of people are figuring things out on their own. Like we don't necessarily have like the schools or, you know, the training programs for stuff like this. So a lot of people don't really have anybody to ask. So they're just kind of winging it or trying to figure stuff out. And so you see a lot of things where people are starting from like back to front. And it's just like, I want this type of person to wear my clothes, as opposed to I'm creating something and I realize like these are the kinds of people that are drawn to it, right? So there's a lot of thoughts given to like status, and to me, more and more, like when I look at Nigeria in general, I find it very interesting how driven we are by just like, I want people to think this about me.
Yeah, and the symbols of that.
And so I want to acquire symbols of that, as opposed to I'm taking the time and dedication to design or build or create something that in and of itself is luxury. Not that it is made luxury by virtue of like pricing or who likes it. So I had an argument with somebody I recently met. He's a developer, very wealthy. And so he was telling me about a luxury building. And I said, but that's not, is it what makes it luxury? Like, is it the location? Is it the appliances? Is it
like,
what
is it
you
the
use?
amenities or like what is there?
Was it the architect? Like, what makes it luxury? Is it because you said so? And so by virtue of people. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, how did you create?
I think just with what I create, like, you know, our silk is 100% silk. You know, the way our clothes are made, we're really, you know, very focused on the finishing and the draping and the style. I knew that it's a certain type of woman that would appreciate this, you know, and she has a certain lifestyle, which maybe, you know, people look up to. So by the time those women started wearing the clothes and started, you know, then people who looked up to them wanted to get that too. And so it all happened very organically. But I didn't necessarily go out and say, you know, I want this person to wear my dress. This person. I was just like, I want everyone to just feel amazing and comfortable and sexy at home, wearing their silk robes and looking fabulous. And that was really my intention.
I mean, brands are aspirational. There's a lot that happens like that. And also, even with things like over the years that become its items or it bags or whatever, you don't know. It happens. It's a pull that happens from like the audience. Okay, another very interesting topic that I always ask all my fashion friends is this issue of imitation and flattery, because I think we've taken it to an extent where it's no longer people are imitating you and it's flattering. Now people are just outright copying things from everyone. And it's quite jarring. So like as a brand where you're constantly bringing out new things, does it bother you? Or are you just like, look, this is the game? Because at this point, to be fair, is the game, big brand, small bags, everybody's copying everybody.
I think in Nigeria, it has become a little bit more intense.
It's flagrant.
Like people are literally just like lifting it, just lifting your idea. And it could be people that you know. And the thing is, it's different when it's big brand.
Yeah.
Well, not say big brand, expensive brand and cheap brand. And they're catering to a different market than you are. And at the end of the day, if the item is trendy, you know, like for example, let's say, you know, there's a type of dress and I'm selling it for this price, and another like cheaper brand comes
selling it much lower,
and they're doing something similar and it's lower. That's fashion.
Yeah,
you know, because everybody wants
fast fashion will always carry.
Everybody
the
wants to look
thing.
trendy, but I think now it's just like everybody's all in, and people are literally lifting your ideas, or you know, from the design to your packaging to you whatever, the way you speak or whatever they can do. So I think, I mean, I don't know how that is going to be managed in Nigeria, but it happens abroad as well. But I think because in Nigeria the market is smaller, so it feels
much smaller.
It feels a lot closer to
you.
But at the end of the day, there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
You just have to keep pushing, keep innovating, keep moving. I don't really let it fester, or I try not to think about it too much. When of course before, like when I first started seeing it, I was like, oh my gosh, like I took so long creating that and thinking about that, and I would get upset and I would take it personally. And you know, especially like, you know, my brand tells nature stories. I have a whole concept behind my brand, and now I see brands like, we tell nature stories through print. I'm like, really? Okay, fine. You know, we can all do the same thing.
Yeah.
But you know, I think there's some things that, and the thing is that Nigerians, we can be creative.
Extremely so.
And it's a shame to see. It's a shame to see everybody doing the same thing. It's because you just want to see everybody doing different things and having their own personalities. And the industry is so vast, and there's different types of design. But I guess this is what's happening. You know, times change.
Yeah, I think also it's across everything too. I mean, it's with fashion and with music and with beauty and with, you know, it's just, because last week I was looking at hair, and at the moment, like there are these like big bouncy layers that are like in, right? And again, layers are not, it's not unique to anybody, but I know exactly where
it came from
and how it's kind of trickled down. And, you know, like framing your face with these specific, like these types of layers and stuff like that. And I do think that I always wonder how people who started something feel. Because with fashion, beauty, music, with artistic things, people have similar ideas, but you can tell when the execution is mimicked.
Yeah.
Right. I can say that, I want us to have like print. So even with a podcast, for instance, even with creativity, you can say, everybody gists. It's a podcast, right? But you can always tell if your thing is being jacked.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, at the moment, you can't shout too much because you look crazy.
Yeah.
You look crazy. People just be like, which one is this my own?
You
Which
look
one is
crazy
this my own?
because in theory, ideas are everywhere. And also just in life, there is a way that like waves of things happen.
Yeah.
And you get that. But like, there's also very, very flagrant and blatant. You saw this, you know, we used to have Turnitin. Did you have Turnitin? No, yeah. We used to have Turnitin. Do you know Turnitin?
Yes, no.
Yeah, and
So
it was a
you'd
plagiarism detector. And so you would upload your essay or whatever in England to Turnitin, and then it will come out with a percentage score of, you know, how much is original and how much is plagiarized. And I feel like people are on like 99% the same.
Like seriously.
Now, because before when you copy somebody's homework, you change.
At least change the color.
You change one or two things here and there. They say this, you change the words, you know, you start looking up synonyms. Now it's just like, whoa, that's you people's business. Plus call every damn thing. And I'm just like, look, again, nobody's saying, everybody's copying everybody at the end of the day. If you enter Zara now, it's all the last collection of all the designers that we get it. But try your best.
Yeah. I think it's also a thing of not believing in there's a thing of believing in your source. That's the only way to explain it. In that, if you take the time to create, it is always nerve-wracking to try something.
Yeah.
It's always safer
To just
to
what
either what you've been doing
works.
before or what you've seen works. It's always nerve-wracking to sit down and come up with a new idea, particularly in the creative scene, because people can be very abrasive, Even with food, a good example is food. Like Nigerian chefs, when they first started trying new things out with flavors that people recognize. And I don't mean when people be like, oh, this is amala and we do agbegiri, but they just make the amala balls or whatever. No, like people are like, oh, this is... So for example, we were at a dinner and Soliat made gnocchi with like an asaro base. So it was the flavor profile was familiar, but it was different. And I remember when people like Freg started doing things like that, there'll be so much backlash. So he would say he made like a jus or a roux with something.
Yeah.
And people would be so offended at the idea that he used...
That you're changing
Begiri,
this,
you're
you're
changing-
doing this.
It's easier to just go with what you know and just maybe it would have been easier for him to plate rice and stew differently as opposed to figuring out,
Something. Yeah.
oh, I have these flavor, I have these ingredients. Like, let me figure out a new flavor profile using these same ingredients. And I think it's the same thing. I can just see that, oh, prints are in. Names. Prints with names are in. Like, let me see.
Let me just
have something that's just in that family without sitting down
And literally copying the
Yeah.
font.
everything.
The
And
color.
I think it's just, I think
Yeah.
there's a thing about trusting the audience. So something that we talk about all the time, we go back and forth with as a group is, and I'm always saying it, see, there are things people like, it's true. But sometimes, and literally this podcast is what taught me, sometimes people don't actually know what they like.
Yeah.
You will
Yeah.
introduce something and they'll start going mad for it.
Yeah.
And that's when you realize like, oh, they like something. So a lot of times it's just believe in your source. Like you're good at what you do already. Don't worry.
Yes.
Just try.
Yeah.
Just keep it, you
Try.
know.
Yeah.
Try. Okay, do you know what? Don't do whole collection yet if you're not that sure.
Just exactly.
Wear
Do
the
one or
wear
two.
it on your body first and see how people react
Yeah.
to it. But I do think that there's something about like, us, fast money, fast.
Yes.
You want to quickly do things, sharp, fast. Let's roll it over. Let's get this money. And I think it's just permeated everything. Restaurants will all just, one person does abula and everybody's going there for abula. The next thing, have you tried XYZ's abula bowl? You guys don't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
But
Like you
just
never did
have
this.
it. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very interesting.
Oh, now, picture is working somewhere. Okay, now us two, we are doing picture on Friday. It's just,
Yeah.
guys, sit down and think.
The fashion one is really crazy
Yeah.
because obviously you see one brand bring out X thing and then give it a month everywhere you go. And I'm just like, hey, yeah.
It's very Nigerian. It's
I'm
very
like,
Nigerian.
And the thing is, I'm like, I'm not even changing it just a bit. So we'll know that,
No.
oh, okay, this is a different, but no, the same.
No, I think it's also cultural and it's Nigerian. I was explaining what I mean. I told you guys about how I remember when Red Oak plantain chips first came
Yeah.
out. Within the month, in traffic, all of a sudden there were just 1 million brands of
But they all
plantain
look the
chips.
same.
And what they did was the font would be different and the name would be different, but you'll be under the assumption that this is Red Oak plantain chips, right? Because they had done very well. Remember when like weddings, which are now out of control, genuinely, when people started doing like lights
Yeah.
over huge overhead lights, then all of a sudden like that's now like the standard.
It happens. It
Also, the
happens.
next
Things, there are
thing-
waves of things.
But it's
and
a
then
very,
they
it's,
come.
it's a very Nigerian thing in that like this is what is selling. This is what I'm going to do. But I think the creative world will always suffer when there is not emphasis on like trying your own
things coming out.
own thing. My favorite producer is SARS because SARS doesn't do once everybody starts going like this, he's just going to carry his bag and start moving this way. And I do think that there's something to be said for as a creative. It's hard to make money, it's true. But genuinely, like there's something about you can't tell me you trust your source if this is what
Yeah.
If your
Yeah, doing
whole
with your
thing is
time.
copying.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to ask about, I'm going to ask a question. But the question is really about coming up with new things. But I'm going to ask a question about, did you ever, because obviously your brand had a very fortunate situation where you launched, there was a pull from people. Like people wanted it. And so you could move in the flow of demand, unlike a situation where maybe you're doing this is not working, and you're like struggling. So has there ever been a time where you put out things that you thought were like really click, and then you're like, or something else surprised you that was the thing that moved in your collection?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I first put everything out, I just thought I think the pajamas were even the last thing I designed. I thought people would prefer the kaftans. I mean, the kaftans were definitely the next best, but I just didn't really think people would buy the pajamas so much. But obviously because of the times we were in.
Yeah, at the time.
Yeah, then the pajamas really took off and people really loved the pajamas. The 2 pieces were just, people were loving them. And also sometimes, I mean, now I kind of know what kind of prints people like. But when I first started, there were some prints that people just didn't like and they would take forever to sell. But now we've kind of worked out our recipe.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Putting out a collection is so nerve-wracking. And I remember every time we put out a collection, I'm always like saying to my team, oh my God, is it enough? Is it enough? Is it good enough? Are they going to like it? My team are like, yes, they will. I'm like, no, you guys are just being nice. But, when you see people then liking it, and then I don't know any designer that doesn't get nervous at the beginning of every season.
Yeah.
Fair. In terms of storytelling, that's not a big thing with like fashion brands. I mean, brands have always had stories, but I think particularly post-lockdown, where for people who you are not a need, a want, your business could have like really suffered. That was when I really think the idea of telling a story really exploded, because you wanted people to be a bit more invested and understand why, yes, you don't actually need this product, but this is part of why you want it and part of why you want to be a part of it. I wanted to ask if because I think now with social media, because as social media is the primary use of storytelling, people who do businesses are there's a temptation or a pull more and more to infuse yourself into the story. Almost like to sell, you have to talk about yourself and your life and have people buy into who you are. And I wanted to ask if you've ever kind of felt pressure like that or
to
thought
dance
about
on
it that
Instagram.
way.
So your question is, do I feel pressure to tell a story?
Not to tell a story,
To be
but
front-facing.
To be front-facing.
Oh, yeah. I didn't.
Have your staff asked you to dance on Instagram?
They have, but I don't dance. I don't dance. I did find that really hard when I first started. I'm not really not a social media person. I'm a very private person. I have like 3 friends, and I don't really go out much either. So suddenly having to do this thing on social media and post myself, because during lockdown, like there were no models. I had to do it myself on myself. But I just thought I need to sell this stuff. Otherwise I can't survive. So yeah, it just became like, it's for the business. And every time we film, you can ask my assistant, they have to ginger me. Banke, don't worry, it's gonna be fine. I'm like, what is it really? Is it gonna be? Do I look okay? I still get very like, I have to ginger myself. But it's now becoming part of me because it's part of the business.
What's the hardest part of running a fashion business for you?
The hardest part, designing whilst you have 101 things on your mind. Designing under pressure. That's the hardest part right now.
Fair.
Do you guys have a seasonal collection, or are you just always dropping? Like, do you do the autumn, winter thing?
So we have our main collection in October. Then we'll have like a Ramadan drop. We'll have a summer drop, and like if I've designed like a print, I might drop that midway through the year or something. But yeah, we have different drops. Yeah.
When you moved back to Nigeria, what did you find the most surprising about getting into fashion?
Most surprising?
Or something that you just weren't expecting. You're like, oh, that's interesting. Or stressful. Or annoying.
I think that no matter, even if you're a ready-to-wear brand and people can just buy from, everybody wants to change something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just, even if this is just know that you've changed it, so it's special for them. They just, I think people, Nigerians really like that. And it's something that we do because, sometimes it's just not that much that they're asking for. I mean, we have our limits. There's only certain adjustments that we will do. People, because I lived in London pretty much all my life. So you go somewhere, you take it now, and it's your responsibility if you want to.
Anything you want to change, that's your business. You can't even ask anyone. Exactly. Can you please help me hem it in? Who will answer you? No, they don't have any tailor anyway.
Exactly. And what do you like? What do you enjoy the most about running a fashion brand here?
I love the community I built. And I love like speaking to my customers. I love engaging with my staff. I love seeing the business grow.
Yeah.
And I love to see how, I'm so grateful for the way people are so, like, they're so invested in my business and they really care about, sometimes customers will send you messages and like, Banke, are you okay? Those of you, like, it's a really nice community. I love that. I love seeing my designs come to life.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was gonna ask, do you do any? Because I'm always curious about, especially people who make prints, who make your own prints. Do you do any sort of focus grouping or feedback, or you're just like, listen, this is what I've created, I'm out?
No. Oh, we go back and forth like once a week. At the moment, we're designing our new collection, so like once or twice a week, we'll sit down. We'll go back.
Is it just team internal, or do you have like a few like trusted eyes?
I have some trusted eyes as well. I have some trusted eyes, and I send them pictures in the middle of the night. What do you think? Like, okay, change this. This is nice, and we can go back. When it comes to the prints, we go back and forth for months. Yeah,
that's nice. I just find it really interesting, like, building. I think building any type of business here, particularly in this climate, takes so much grit.
It does.
It almost feels like, you actually feel crazy.
Oh no, it
to
does.
build anything here at the moment. So even the concept of trying to do things for months on end is, when you're in the thick of it, obviously, it doesn't feel like that. But when you now look back here, like, oh yeah, this took us 4 months or 5 months or a year to perfect. Some people just will not understand. Clothes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think people forget that, like, things like, because you have this whole ocean theme, like prints, somebody has to sit down and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't just come, as in you have to design the thing. And like, obviously as a consumer, you skip things like that because like truly was your business.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just imagining for you that actually, if you have to do the prints for the whole of the next season, like how is that back and forth of like, actually this bangs, actually, this can never click. Don't do that. This looks funny.
Yeah.
That's very interesting to me.
The brand is also doing well internationally. Who has been your like most surprising, like somebody woke up and was like, Banke, this person is wearing
your thing?
The most surprising.
Let's do last year, not in general. I feel like
last year, who was the most surprising? Liz, who was the most surprising last year?
Or the most fun for you personally that you were excited about?
Okay, it wasn't last year, and I've never said this on TV.
Oh yeah, okay, let's just have it.
And she's a really nice customer of mine. When I was younger, I always thought I wanted to be Miss World. So when Abani Darigo messaged me, I was so excited. I called my dad, like, "Daddy, you never guess what?"
No, I can't imagine.
Yeah, I love
that's
that.
a really cool feeling. Also, if Miss World thinks your clothes, that's
very, and like Abani Darigo is stunning in like a crazy way.
Yeah, she's
like I saw her in person and I was just like, this is wild for you to be moving around looking like this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's absolutely stunning.
Like you actually have to take a moment to just be like, wow, that's really that's a beautiful woman.
Her and Genevieve, I'm always just
stunning. I'm always just like, okay, that's really cool. I love that.
Thank you.
So is there anything? Yeah, do you have a question?
I was gonna say, are you moved by that? Doesn't matter, because for some people it's like exciting, but I've spoken to other people who have brands who are like, I mean, it's fun, but it doesn't move the needle as much as you think. Or for you, is it sort of not a goal, but is it a thing of interest? Who is wearing it, celebrities, or is it more so that it's moving in these regions or these countries?
Of course, you're thinking about the general growth of the brand, so you're definitely thinking about it. But for me, I still get like, oh my gosh, like sometimes when I'm like driving on the road and I see someone like coming out of the car and they're wearing like, oh my gosh.
I think I would be very gassed, just like in life, to be like, wow.
Yeah, I've heard my voice.
I have heard my voice in many places. I'm just like, the funniest one, I said it, that I was going into like one of these malls, like I was going to do something, and I was walking past, and the babe wound down, and I was like, I can't hear me, Angela. And she was like, see, you're in the car. And I was just like, this is a crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Or like one time I went somewhere and a guy did a video. The security was listening to the podcast and just having a laugh and clearly not doing his work because my friend was outside the gate. But he was just like, he sent to me that you see what you people have caused outside.
Yeah.
And like there was one other time, one guy sent me, like he runs a bar, and when they hadn't opened, like he just came in and he was like, why is FK here? And one of his barmen was just sitting down, like laughing in the corner. And he sent it to me like, see what you people are doing. Yeah, just distracting. But it's really fun.
Stuff like that is fun.
Stuff like that is
Seeing your work or hearing yourself out.
Or like my friend getting home and like her parents, two of them sat down. and they had put us
Yeah.
on the
Yesterday,
screen.
someone came with
And
her
she
mom
was
and
just
auntie.
like,
Really?
Yes.
That's
She came
so
with her
sweet.
mom and auntie to the event.
That's so
Said they
sweet.
listened together. I was so
when they came,
confused.
we thought they were
we thought
like,
they were like
the
just
sponsors or something.
Yeah, we didn't
And
know.
they were like,
they're
oh, no, we just came. And I just thought, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
And like I have a
very-
lot of aunties messaging me like, oh, they didn't see it. Why weren't they invited? And I just thought, you would have come. That's so random. Why would you do that? But yeah.
It's really,
Yeah.
really cool. What's no, I don't want to ask what you're working on directly, but I just think like what's
no, don't
what are
say
you
the
currently
theme of
like
the collection
they
because
will
before you
steal
get
it.
there tomorrow,
What are you
it
currently
will
like
be
really
out.
excited about?
We have
Work-wise?
really exciting plans for the summer, for sure. And yeah, just seeing like, obviously we're working on a new collection as well.
That's October.
Yeah, October, and we have a couple more things, a couple more drops before that. So just excited to see the new designs coming through, and
Yeah.
exciting plans.
Has work taking over your life, like your personal life, or
Yeah.
like do you have a
It does.
She didn't even allow me finish.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It is my life. It is
Yeah.
my life. It's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, it was luck. I was like, no, it was actually intentional.
Mm.
Like I have sacrificed so much.
Yeah.
If sometimes when you have to travel, I know your friends are going out and they're hanging out together, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I really just want to be there and just relax for a bit. But you have to, you have to give it. You have to give everything your all.
Yeah, a friend of mine, like I think her fashion brand is one of my favorites, and she was so burnt out. But it was just the nature of the business at the time. And we would say stuff like, oh, you need to rest. And one day she got kind of upset. She was like, do you think I could rest? And I'm just like, oh no, I don't want to rest. She got kind of mad at us. Like, guys, do you think I'm looking or feeling like this because it's an option? Like, this is the point in the business where if I don't take this opportunity to build and grow it like this now, I will have to work to some degree like this forever. If I don't build it like this now, I'm not going to be able to rest later on if I'm not. It's just like, well, like, sorry, we didn't. Yeah, but
I have a question
like
about like, I mean, not balance because I think it's a myth, but obviously just like what she's saying, there's a point where you have to just sacrifice. But does it get easier, like with team and everything? Do you kind of buy back your time, or like, because as your business is growing, there's a way in which it's like, okay, now, new levels, new devils. And you're just like, hey, when will I be on the beach relaxing? This is what people say now, that when you make it, then your business is just booming. You are just
I mean,
outside.
I think the work, maybe the type of work is different.
Sure.
So when I first started, I was literally in the store all the time. And helping people take orders, and helping, because I had one member of staff and she couldn't handle everything, so I was folding clothes, helping her sweep the floor, whatever. So I was doing like the nitty gritty stuff as well as the other stuff. So as I got to employ more people, then I don't have to think about those kind of things, but there are other things I have to think about. So, but it's not, maybe it's just that maybe the type of work you do changes, but you're still working hard.
Yeah.
Oh, Banke, thank you so much for coming. This has
was
been
a lot
fun.
of
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's been great. Thank you for having
We
me.
love your clothes.
We
Thank
do.
really, really do.
We
Very
do.
cute. Very
Thank
cool.
Also, I was gonna ask, how is it always having clothes? All my fashion friends, I'm like, you realize that now you just have clothes
Clothes.
all the time.
Yeah.
To
Especially
wear.
Regina, I'm talking to you. Regina does it all the time. She'll just appear and we'll just be like, what's that?
What's that? She's like,
I made it yesterday.
And I'm like, piss off. Why can't we have this? I'm like, why would you make this?
I don't have as
yourself?
many clothes as one may think. Trust
Really?
me. I don't.
Do you have everything in your collection, in every collection?
Do you know the funny thing?
Since
I
all
caught
the
her
years.
the day we went to the store. There was a skirt, and Banke just kept telling her stuff. I'm taking this. I'm taking this.
They don't let me take my clothes.
I'm taking this.
I have to pay for it. They will send me an invoice. Oh yeah. Oh yes. I'm like, guys, can I have
If it's
this?
me, the first thing you make is one in my size of everything.
No.
Number one. Then you can start doing, because I just imagine that if you're a designer, all the clothes from every collection, you have it.
Oh no.
Wow.
No. I definitely can't have everything.
Also, do you feel pressure to always wear Banke Kuku every time?
Well, I generally enjoy wearing it.
I mean, yeah.
Yes, I generally enjoy it.
But like, if there's something and you're like, I really want to wear
yeah. Sometimes like, okay, no, I have to go.
this or that dress, and your staff probably like, ma,
Exactly.
can you please?
Yeah. It's, I think, what do they say? You can't get high on your own supply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for making time. Thank you for making us look fabulous.
Honestly,
that's
we looked
amazing.
I stopped somewhere in my hand. They were just like, "Oh, you look so." I said, "Yeah." These are my
Even at the
clothes.
photo shoot,
I was just
we
like,
looked
"These
so
are
good.
my
Yes, you
clothes.
did.
Don't worry
Yes,
yourself.
you
It's
did.
fine."
Yeah, so thank you so much. And you've built a really cool
Honestly, I think it's
business.
amazing.
You're doing
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank
The
you.
store is also, can you tell people where they can find your store or find the clothes?
So you can find us. Our store is number 2 Alexander in Ikoyi, B1 to B3. So it's upstairs when you get into the complex. And then we are online, www.bankekuku.com. On Instagram, it's at Banke Kuku. And TikTok is also Banke Kuku.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys know what to do. If you don't want to wear the clothes, you can buy for me. And
Yeah,
Faye Kemi.
you can
We
buy
love
from
them.
me. Like, we are very open to receiving Banke Kuku
If you're trying to impress
clothes.
someone,
Yeah,
legit.
wear it. It's like I had a big meeting and I was like, this is the time for this set to jump out. I said, it's a big babe set. See what I'm going to do. So that when I ask for my money, people will not look at me funny. And I wore my pajamas. I said, oh, I like it. And I said, sure. I know.
you guys know what to do. Leave a comment. People keep asking where they can find all of a sudden when they hear other people's problems, they remember they have problems they want to send
What
to
the
us too.
dilemmas?
You can go on the website.
Go on the website. There's a form.
Yeah, www.isaidwhatisaidpodcast.com. You can fill it out there.
Yes.
What else do people ask us for?
I'm not sure.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. And make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. Because if you don't subscribe to the newsletter
You
or the
miss
YouTube,
out on things.
you're not in our community. So you miss out on things. You know?
Also, please rate the podcast where, rating is possible.
No. Don't tell them to rate. These people are evil spirits. Rate these 5 stars.
Right, that's actually the instruction.
Don't
If
go
you
there
have
and-
any other rating,
Don't go there and write your mind.
kindly
please.
don't do it. We don't actually want your opinion. If you're rating 5 stars, do it. If you're not rating 5 stars, put it in your group chat. Okay? So those are your options.
Thank you so much. See you next week.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
This episode of I Said What I Said was brought to you by Carousel Network. Our producer is Debbie Romeo. Our social media manager is Najiti Anira. Our production assistant is Teresa Ajayi. And on audio, we have David Kenny. Our camera assistants are Pascal Ona and Abolade Uluyede. Your hosts are forever the fabulous Jola Ayeye and Faye Kemi FK Abudu. And our guest today was the fantastic Banke Kuku. This season of I Said What I Said was brought to you by Bamboo.